My hair looks kind of goofy. Sorry, folks. And just didn't really do a good job of fixing it. Was the thing sounding okay? Big Jim is texting me. Tony's going in to relieve Jim, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Tony is Mushu. Speaking of Mushu, that's what kind of prompted this whole thing. Yesterday we were doing a gig, and had nothing to do with any of this, and stuff popped off because it just doesn't end. It doesn't go away. He's in Lago, yeah. So what I need to talk about today, and I hope everybody can hear me.
Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay. All right. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never been, a part of the show, or, welcome to our show. My name is Josh Turner. They call me Wolf. My friends call me Wolf. My fans call me whatever they want to call me. My email address is prtpodcast, Josh Turner at prtpodcast.com. My web address is prtpodcast.com. We have several Facebook groups. We have Ryan Tremblay's group, Whisper to a Scream. We have Paranormal Encounters, which is Mushu's group, Paranormal Lounge, which is Nellie's group, and Paranormal Round Table, which is Oliver's group. So I guess technically I don't have my own group, but some people, Phil Stern, one of them, I think him and, I don't know, Chris, Clough, a couple of people, they're always posting in there, Curtis. It's a Josh Turner fan page, which hilariously enough, a lot of people are joining thinking that I'm Josh Turner, the country singer, don't have his kind of clout or his voice. So, sorry that you joined. But I did have actually one woman say, hey, I joined. And so I directed her to who I was and what I did. So she went to the YouTube and started watching videos, and she liked it. She's hooked. She's like, oh, it's awesome. I like the content and material and blah, blah, blah. So what happened, what's been happening and what's been transpiring is there's a lot of mess going on, and I'm trying to clear the air here. And I've been under a lot of stress, a lot of stress. I'm trying to close on a land deal so I can start building my house, which will help me with a lot of things, my office, my studio, just a lot of stuff going on, and me and Anthony, my nephew, had been under enormous pressure to get this stuff done. We're expanding the company. We have to add more patrol because we have it's just, our company is blown up. I mean, it has just gone, bonkers. Everybody is being affected by what's going on now. And it's unfortunate because me and this particular person shared a lot of listeners. So I have a lot of people who are saying that they're not understanding any of this. They're not understanding what's going on. They're completely just like, I don't get it. Which at this point is really frustrating to me because I have made statements. Vic has made statements. John Villafranco, thank you for that. John Villafranco always coming through. Thank you for the donation. When he's firing off, I'm firing off. Everybody's firing off. You got people that are on the sidelines firing off. You got people, from the past coming out and saying things. And how do you not know what's going on? How can you possibly not know what's going on? I mean, I can't even record because I'm getting messed with so bad, dude. I mean, it's got to the point like yesterday. In fact, I got my nephew here. I'm so exasperated. You want to talk about what happened yesterday when we were at the event? This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yesterday, my Uncle Wolf here, he was doing a live video on Facebook, just having a good time at this fight event that we were working, that Chief had put on. He put it together. He worked very hard on it, and we were working security for that event, and we were working very hard at it because we were burning up, but we were making the best of it and having a good time. And it didn't have anything to do with any of this nonsense at all. It was just trying to unwind and have fun and talk about something positive. And what's his face got on there and left a random comment saying, "I still support Vic," which I mean, whatever your opinions on this or that are. No, there's a time and a place for things, and that's neither the time nor the place. And then, whenever he got called out on it, people were saying, "Hey, okay, but what's your deal? That's not cool." And he pulled this little passive aggressive thing like, "Well, I'm getting attacked for voicing my opinion." No, you're purposely trying to start something negative. You're trying to bring something negative into something positive and just ruin it. And then just throw your hands up and act like you're a victim, like, "Oh, poor little baby." I mean, this is classic childish tactics. I mean, little girls do that. Little girls will say something that's clearly positive, clearly negative, and then just kind of throw their hands up and be like, "What? What did I do? I didn't do nothing." No, 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 no. You are not a child. You are a grown man. You are accountable for your own actions, and you know what you are doing and what your intentions are. So this passive aggression is not going to work because we're not little kids anymore.
Yeah, did everybody get that? Everybody can hear him, what he's saying? Yeah, Doc Joey says, "I say don't entertain them or talk about it, let it dry out." You're only getting about a tenth of what's being talked about, and what's to sit there, and say that. It's very easy. I'm not attacking you, brother, but it's very hard when you're in the fight 24/7. My phone and my wife and everybody else involved has had to block, I don't know how many numbers. I don't know if this guy leaked my phone number to people. Probably. There was an issue that me and him had where I had him on a live stream at one point, and he didn't know. He claims he didn't know he was on the live stream, but then he was like, "Oh, I'm live," and I was like, "Yeah, I told you that before you came on, that I was going to call you." And so, anyways, yeah, I'm going to answer your question in a minute, Skills Junior. I guess Vic was upset because his phone number had been put out there. So maybe he's getting me back for that. I don't know what his deal is. I had been asked multiple times on my show why I would not go back to work with Vic. Now, I'm going to bring someone on that's going to explain that, okay, what happened between him and this other person and why I built an alliance with this individual. Okay. And there was a third person involved too that kind of helped trigger and spark all this stuff. It's not just me, Vic, and Marvin, that are going round and round, and then DW getting involved and Ryan Tremblay and everybody else that have been involved. There was another person involved too who had a podcast, who had a hand in this. And we know he did. I mean, we've had people tell us point blank he was plotting and scheming and saying that, he was playing chess and all this other stuff, So what's going on now, and I'm trying to read the comments, trying to say what I got to say, but I'm going to ignore the comments for just a minute here. I'm just kidding. But it's easy for people to sit back and say, "I'm neutral, I'm not involved." Well, you got to pick the right or wrong. I mean, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. If you, the listener, were attacked on the day that your mother died, how would you feel? What would you do? What would be your response? How would you look at this person? Okay. It says Dark Waters is a hater. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's standing up for himself and what happened to him, and he's seeing it happen to me, so he's decided to join in. I haven't built any alliance with Dark Waters. I haven't built any alliance with Vault. I don't have an alliance built with all these other people that have fought with him. Vic Cundiff, by his own admission, hates Linda Godfrey's guts. He has said that to me. personally said that to me, and I will put my hand on a Bible, on a court of law, and I will say, yes, Vic Cundiff said that to me. And I will tell you some other things that Vic Cundiff says. You people who are his listeners, okay, he thinks you're a joke. He thinks you're a freaking joke by his own admission. His average listeners are not that bright. And Vic, if you try to say you didn't say that, every time we talked, Vic, I had witnesses, dude. Every time we talked, I had witnesses. There were always people around because there's always people around me all the time. Okay. And you were always on speaker. So, you know, how can you deny it? You could record our conversation, maybe edit it to try to fix the narrative. But yeah, you hate Linda Godfrey. You've said that on multiple occasions. So we're going to start right there with that. Why do you hate Linda Godfrey? Why do you hate Linda Godfrey? I could bring Dark Waters on right now, and he could tell you the whole story of what she told him. Well, I'll tell you. Because she refused to do a podcast with you. These are your words, Vic. She refused to do a podcast with you and instead went and continued writing books. Oh, what a horrible person. What an awful individual Linda Godfrey is for writing books. Oh, what a terrible person that is. Man, shame on her. Shame on her for writing books and making money. Whoopee-doo. Okay? That's a terrible thing to do. Yeah. That deserves your derision. That deserves someone camping inside of her house. You know, that's what that warrants. That's what that is.
And it should be noted that his response to what you just said will probably be something along the lines of, well, I'm not responsible for what a very small portion of my listeners do. And I guess to an extent that's true, but it also warrants something from you saying, like denouncing that behavior, because this is not the first person that something like this has happened to, where you've interacted with them and your listeners, some of your listeners have harassed these people in their real lives, and it's gone from the internet to real life, and that's something that people don't get. This is not just internet drama, because some of these people have suffered in their real lives, and when it gets to that point, it's time for you as a content creator, as a leader, to denounce those people, and to denounce their actions, because if you don't, then you have to understand these people are mentally unstable, and they take that as, oh, it's okay because my leader here, my you know, whatever, he didn't tell me it's wrong, he didn't denounce me, so he must endorse it. Like, obviously a person with a brain stem who's mentally stable does not think like that, but it's not mentally stable people who are harassing these people in their real lives. So you have to understand that and react accordingly.
So what DW had talked about was the harassment that Linda had gone through. DW had people taking pictures of his children. You think about that. You people out there, okay, who want to threaten me, you say, you know where I live, and that I'm right here in Austin, Texas, buddy. I was at the cage matches yesterday. Let me tell you something about that, okay? Not bragging, but a lot of those guys, the trainers of the people that were fighting, I trained them. Okay, so you want to get schooled? Come to Austin. Quit making your threats. Okay, don't hide behind your cuerta, your gun, because that's probably all you can do, Holmes. Why don't you come to Austin and we'll set up a cage match? I challenge anybody out there in YouTube land. I don't care how big, strong, or how many people you've beat up. Watch what happens. Watch what happens. I will unleash all my anger and all my frustration out on you. We can go. We have a cage set up. Okay. We can get it set up pretty quick, right? Wouldn't take much.
No.
We get it set up in, hour or two.
Well, I mean, don't even need a cage. Just go over to Arcanum.
Or we'll just go to Cooper's. We'll talk to Sean. I mean, we can go to Arcanum Combat. We go to Blindside Boxing.
But I mean, either way, it's not like anyone's going to take you up on that anyway.
Bring the heat.
All these people on Reddit, on
Threatening my life.
on Facebook, whatever. They're going to remain on Reddit, on Facebook, behind their keyboards, and that's I mean, there's really no point in
Yeah.
challenging them like, oh, meet me in real life. That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Well, I mean, there have been in past some people who've actually driven around, like what they're doing to Roger and what they've done to Dark Waters, and it's happened.
Yeah.
If it happens with me, I'm telling you, it's going to be a whole nother ball of wax, dude. I'm not taking anything away from any of those people because they're very capable of taking care of themselves, dude. But I'm going to drag you out of your car, and it's going to be, you're going to see white flashes, and everything's going to go dark. It's going to be boom, 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 boom. I don't need to hide behind a gun. I can pull you out with that, and then we can just do whatever we got to do. I'm not going to play games with you. Don't you dare threaten to hurt me or my family. I'm telling you right now, dude. All you people that are doing all this crap, dude, you don't know what you're messing with, dude. You think I'm the Lone Ranger? I got lots and lots of friends here, a lot of brothers from the old days, dude, who are all down for theirs. Okay? So keep it up. Keep popping off and talking about you're going to do this, you're going to come to Austin. I would love to see you come to Austin. That would be awesome. That would be most incredible. And then if you're willing to sign that waiver, we can put it on YouTube and watch what I do to you. Watch as you get choked or knocked unconscious. So I'm so tired of these people, dude, because you hide behind your keyboards. You go to Reddit and you attack me and talk about all this, skillies, whatever your name is. You are the most full of crap person. I mean, you how can you sit there and look at yourself in the mirror? You're either the enemy himself or you're a person who's so far up their rear end that you can't even, you don't even have your own brain. It says here, they did a breakdown of my 4-hour video with the Hendersons and with Barton Nunley, and basically spun it, in the way that they could generate the most hate, for people for me. It says here, yikes! 5 minutes in, Josh is complaining about all the trolls commenting lately, singling one out as an old hag who's on death's doorstep. Very Christian way to open up. This particular old hag that you're defending, okay, basically said that she was glad my mom died, okay? So how Christian is that? All right? I never professed to be the greatest Christian in the world, and I get all these other comments about I'm actually a devil worshiper, and that I'm actually I'm a Catholic researcher, which I'm not Catholic, and I don't work with Catholic researchers. I don't even know what you're talking about. What is this? Y'all are so full of crap here, dude. And then they go on to attack Roger and says, Roger, nobody has any proof of Roger getting this and Roger getting, complaining about being constantly hounded to go on Vic's show, which that happened. He was being hounded to go on Vic's show. Seems like they're repeatedly but passively suggesting Vic is responsible for Roger's harassment, but then clarifying that they don't know who's behind it. Because we don't know 100% who's behind it. But if you go by the past record of who's done what, then that's what you're going to come up with. Okay? And all you people sitting on the fence and saying silly, dumb, ridiculous things, I just got rid of you, kicked you off my Facebook, got rid of you out of my groups. I don't need you. You're going to sit up here and tell me that I need to come from a love foundation and do all this other, blah, 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 psychobabble, telling me that I need to be this, a Christian, that Christian, whatever. I'm going to tell you something right now, okay? Jesus said, turn the other cheek. I got two cheeks, and they've both been slapped multiple times. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm getting really tired of it. Okay. How many people, it says here, Josh hints at some wrongdoing Vic did to Linda Godfrey. No details are offered. I just told you right now. I don't want to drag her into this because she's very ill. But this is what it says. Then it says Josh gives a complete revisionist history of Dark Waters falling out with Vic. Man, this person's a big fanboy or girl or whatever you want to call yourself. It says here that it just gives more vague passive aggressive, suggesting that he should have been on DW's side back then. Absolutely. There ain't no passive aggression in me, bro. Girl, whatever you are, whatever you identify as, a wrench. Yeah, absolutely I should have been on his side back then. Instead, I sat back like a dum-dum. That's my big sin, and let people destroy this guy, calling him the N-word. You know how many times I saw that? I should have reacted, okay? I should have said something. I should have done something, and shame on me for that. Okay, my brother's son is half black. He's my and I adopted him when he was 14. Let me tell you something. I should have said something back then, but I didn't. And now I sit here like a heel and feeling stupid, and I'm having to defend myself from this man's attacks. Vic launched an attack on me the day after I made the video with the Hendersons, exposing him for what he did and what he said. Now I'm gonna clarify something right now. The Hendersons are upset, because they don't want his wife's death being, the government did this and they did that, and those poor people. I encouraged them beforehand to come out and talk about this on their show. I told Barton that. I told them that. I said, let's do it on their show. It's going to look bad if I do it on my show. It wasn't happening. Barton kind of encouraged me, said, hey, let's just do this. So I did. Didn't want to do it on my show. Did not want to have that come out on my show. What I initially wanted them to do was just talk about what happened on their show. They're a small show. They're not interested in a feud. They're not interested in having to fight Vic and fight his people. Who would be? Nobody wants this kind of smoke, dude. Nobody wants this smoke. Let me tell you something. If I could go back in time and just, never have dealt with this guy, I would not have ever dealt with him. I would have taken all my research and all my stories that I'd collected over the years, and I would have went to another channel, just like the Cryptid Studies, and went to them and gave them everything. I regret ever giving Vic anything, and now this may become like a legal battle. I may have to, I'm going to have to talk to somebody tomorrow to figure out what I got to do. I don't want to be associated with him in any shape or form. If I'm such a bad guy, Vic, then take all my stuff down. Take all of my stuff down, Vic. Take it all down. Show everybody, but you make money off of that, and you made a lot of money off of that, and we're going to find out. You've also made money off of merchandising. I never gave you permission to do any of that. You've never got my permission for that. Okay? So what I want to know is how you're able to sleep at night knowing what you know and what you've done, the post you made, okay? Everybody's just like, can't believe, the Vic, poor baby, he's just been attacked, like, just so bad. Like, nobody can understand, like how he did, Give me a break, dude. I mean, imagine how shocked I am to find out that the stink that has been created recently is because there are people out there who think I actually enjoyed the fact that someone's mother died of cancer. Okay, we're not in preschool, Vic. I know that you think your listeners are all a bunch of dummies, and a lot of them are, obviously, because they're still following you. Okay, because you've said that yourself to me in private, right? You've said that. They're a bunch of dum-dums, You pretty much said the average listener is a fool that goes out and goes hunting every weekend or something to that effect. I can't remember the exact words. You basically told me that they're a bunch of idiots, and that's why you don't talk about the supernatural aspect of it, because they wouldn't be able to grasp it. You're catering to your listeners who are low IQ. So you said, imagine how shocked I am to find out that the stink that has been created recently is because there are people out there who think I actually enjoyed the fact that someone's mother died of cancer. First of all, who are you talking about? Are you talking about the Hendersons or are you talking about me? Because this is a very vague post. But it says, my dad died of cancer, and I'll never forget how horrible that was. That's kind of weird to me, because me and you had talked, and I don't remember anything about you saying anything about your mom and dad, or your dad dying of cancer. We talked about parents, things like that. Me and Vic talked a lot about a lot of stuff. And I thought we were friends, so we had all kinds of conversations about who knows what. I mean, heck, that guy, he's probably recording me. He's such a weirdo, and I don't really care. I mean, he can edit and do whatever he wants. He's got my voice. He can make up whatever he wants. But by the same token, so could I. But I'm about the truth, not about the BS. It says, unfortunately, there's no lack of people in this community who have no critical thinking skills or intelligence. Yeah, it really is a shame. He keeps using the word shame. He uses it like 3 times. It really is a shame how some of the people in this community are. A lot of those are your listeners that you're talking about, bro. You're basically insulting your own listeners. And you say, do you remember the look your parents would get on their faces? He's tugging at your heartstrings about your parents. About your parents. What would your parents think? Oh, we're talking about me like this. Oh. Yeah. Okay, dude. It says here, do you remember the look on your parents would get on their faces? Yeah. When you were about to do something extremely stupid as a kid? Well, that's the look I get on my face when someone asks me how I could do such a horrible thing. How do we know what the look is on your face, dude? You don't show your face. Because she's obviously, are you the man in the mask? Is that why you're so hideously burned or something? It says, this community really is riddled with abject stupidity. He insults the community. In his comment, he insulted the community. Michael Whitley, thank you for your donation, by the way. Forgot to thank you. Everything anybody does, I appreciate it. He insults the community. Okay? Says it's riddled with abject stupidity. And then he once again drives it home with, it really is a shame. I thank everyone here for knowing better than to think I'd ever do such a horrible thing. You think people a little prematurely because you had about 50 people, Vic, that got on there and just started absolutely hammering you and slamming you. But you cleaned it up nicely. You do what you do. You taught me. You said, hey, when somebody says something negative about you in the comments, you got to control the narrative, right? That's what you said, right, buddy? So you got to get on there and you got to pick out all those bad comments. Matter of fact, guy sitting across from me, my nephew, Anthony, we had fights over it. Didn't I say leave the negative comments on there? And you wanted to do what Vic said. Speak up.
I mean, I wanted to just get rid of them and just keep moving on with the show. And
I said leave them on there. Let the truth be heard. That's my motto. Anthony was looking out for me. I said let people speak, because if you start to censor the people and take away the bad comments and just make this pretty little row of roses thing going on, people aren't as dumb as you think they are, Vic. Now, they're pretty dumb people out there, but they're not that dumb. Any fool that takes a little bit of time out of their busy life, okay, because a lot of people work for a living, and like you, Vic, you just do the show and live at your parents' basement, whatever it is you do, play with your trains or whatever. You know, people, when they start to look at that, they're going to go, every YouTube has negative comments. Where are the negative comments at? Huh? Everybody loves this guy? Like everybody? I'm an acquired taste. Not everybody's going to love me, bro. Not everybody's going to love you. But you go to his, oh, nothing but good comments, nothing but good comments, because he spends hours looking over all his shows, picking out all the bad comments. I'm sure he's going to have the bad comments on my show going to be left on there now. Because it's called being real, bro. That's what it's called. Then he says, see how lucky I am to have you? Yes, all of his lemmings. All of his little whatever. Thank you. With a big old smiley face with the big teeth. That was his comment. He made that comment right after I made my show that was 4 hours long with the Hendersons coming on there talking about what had happened. Okay? He has an army of spies and trolls that have infiltrated everyone's group. I've been told by all the major groups that they're all in their groups and they got to be careful what they say. That they, I can go on any group right now and say anything in any group. I was in a group yesterday. It was a very large group and somebody jumped on me. That's been going on since Marvin. You know, him and Marvin's people, which are kind of one and the same now because they're all in this together. He has stood by Marvin and his lies. He has chosen willingly to stand by an absolute liar who has had multiple people come out and say that he's lying. The individual that made the comment on my fight video yesterday when I was going around interviewing the fighters and talking about and having a good time, had nothing to do with any of this. That guy, by his own admission, said that Marvin makes up 90% of his stories. My wife is sitting right next to me when you were saying that, dude. Yeah, you said that. Then you want to go on there and talk about you stand with Vic. I don't care what you stand. You go stand in the street in the freeway for all I care, dude. Why are you saying it on a video that has nothing to do with anything? I was trying to talk about the fight promotion thing, whatever, and you're over here talking about all this crap. So you get on there and you say what you said. By your own admission, Marvin lies. And then, in the next breath, you said you're still going to stand by him, though, even though you know he lies. Anthony, let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. And this ain't for show. This is just the absolute truth. If I said, hey, 90% of the things that come out of my mouth are a lie, are you going to stand by me and go, oh, yeah, he's a big liar, but I'm still going to stand by? What would your response to me be?
I don't think I'd have any response to you at all because you're not worth my time. I would just not deal with you. And that what you're talking about right there is it's a classic thing that a lot of people have in their head, where they have two contradicting opinions or idea, like two contradicting things they believe. It's called cognitive dissonance, where it's like they want to have their cake and eat it too, where you believe, okay, this guy is a liar on one hand, and then on the other hand you say, I'm loyal to this guy, I'm sticking with him. Well, those are two contradicting beliefs that you have. This cognitive dissonance, that's the term for that, and it's very common, and a lot of people suffer from that and don't even realize it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't believe both of these things at the same time. You need to be able to arrange your thoughts, and if you can't do that, then maybe see a therapist and get some kind of mental health help or something.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to come at someone and try to mess with them. I mean, make sure your own house is in order first. Be able to think properly.
Yeah, and to sit there and say that you support someone who lies, mistells people's stories. I don't know whether the guy's making stuff up or telling stories. I can't understand that. Yeah, then this thing crawled up a tree and was smoking a blunt. I don't know what the heck you're talking about, dude. I can't understand half of what you say.
Either way, it's the content is unprofessional. Just the production value is extremely unprofessional. The way he speaks is highly uneducated. It's very ignorant and it's very vulgar. He's in all of his content. He's constantly cursing and just being vulgar, obscene, and he doesn't know how to speak correctly. And that I don't know how you can listen to someone like that speak and think, oh, this is a very intelligent guy. I want to listen. I want to hear more of what he has to say. I don't understand that, and I won't pretend to understand it. It makes no sense.
When I began to speak out about this guy, because I went to Vic and I stupidly suggested that a few other people who had been wronged by him go to Vic. Vic basically told me to go F myself. Not in so many words. He didn't say those words. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. And I'm not going to lie to you. Two wrongs don't make a right. But not in so many words. He said to just, stay in my lane and you do you and I'll do me. Don't worry about what we're doing over here. And I'm like, first of all, buddy, we have like a lot of the same audience, or we did. It's fractured now. We both lost people. The people that I've lost to him, I didn't need them anyway. You never cared about me because you never cared about the truth. You just wanted some BS. I've even had people who've messaged me and said that they went on his show and they were drunk and they were just rambling on. So that's what you got. And I think it's hilarious because now they're just coming out and saying, yeah, I just went on there and just blah, blah, blah. I don't think at this point in time it's right to call them out. I'm going to ask them if it's okay if I, because I don't think they want to take the heat right now, but it's, it doesn't surprise me. Like, none of this is coming out is surprising me. What's surprising me, and it really shouldn't surprise me, is the fact that, it's like a train wreck. You see it happening, but you can't look away. It's like, I can't believe the people that are still saying that they're supporting him and that they want to believe what he says, and they're spinning the narrative for him. He knows y'all are useful idiots. Imagine how shocked I am to find out that the stink that's been created, you took a poop and then you're wondering about the stink. Okay? You took a big old crap. That's what you did. Okay? Then you're wondering about the stink that's been created. Like, you're on the toilet going, where's that smell coming from? Dude, it's you, bro.
Hang on. Evan Tabaldo, I think that's how you say his name. He gave us a $20.
Thank you for that. PRT for life. Yep. Tammy Smart also, and Barry, thank you for your donations.
Thank you all.
Yeah. And so I'm sitting up here it's like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Like I really do. I'm really, you know what I mean? Like I just feel like I'm in another realm. Like I have been transported to another dimension where there's no reality. Everything is upside down. This guy has literally turned the narrative. DW said he was going to do that. Folks, after we did this, DW came out and said that he's going to spin the narrative. Did he not say that? Oh, y'all don't listen to him because your cult leader told you not to listen to that guy. See, he's got it all played out. He's a chess player. He's got it all laid out there, okay? Don't listen to that guy. You know why? Because that guy's going to tell you something, and then later on you're going to double check and you're going to go, oh, crap. Guess he was right.
Yeah, and going back to that post that Vic had made from his Dogman Encounters page, I had actually left a pretty lengthy comment on that post, but basically just breaking down exactly what the purpose of that post was, because it was actually extremely disingenuous, and it's a classic case of a logical fallacy called a straw man. Now, what that is whenever you take someone's argument against you and you completely and totally misrepresent it to the point where it's absolutely ridiculous, and that absolutely ridiculous argument that you've created, you argue against that because it's easy, and it makes it look like, oh, this person who is speaking against me, they're saying something crazy, and I'm dispelling their craziness. Because, for example, on that excuse me, on that post, he had said, I can't believe something along the lines of, I can't believe anyone would think that I would take pleasure in someone's death, or something like that. Well, first off, nobody said that. No one had said that Vic took pleasure in the death of anyone. That claim was never made against him, and yet he's claiming that's what was said. Now, this is part of the straw man. That he's making something up and making up a false argument against him, and then dispelling that, as opposed to actually addressing what was actually truthfully said. Mm-hmm. So you make up something that's not even real, and act like that's what's being leveled against you. And people do that whenever they can't actually argue against the truth, so they argue against a lie, because it's easy to argue against a lie, because a lie is like paper mache. You can just shred it, mm-hmm.
Punch right through it.
But the truth is not going anywhere. It's an unmovable object. So, yeah, obviously, if you can't move the unmovable object, so you just you take the little paper mache lie and you shred it to pieces because it's easy. I mean, that's, again, and it's not like he's unaware of using these tactics. I mean, he's not. If there's anything he's not, it's dumb. He's not a dumb guy. So, and like some of these moves are actually very smart moves on his part. But just because something is smart doesn't mean that it's moral. Like, there's a difference between an intelligent move and the right move. Like, right and wrong has nothing to do with whether or not your move is smart or dumb. Sometimes it's kind of dumb to do the right thing because it's hard. Helping and doing right is very costly and it's very painful. And the smarter thing to do would be to just do something that's strategic, and it may not be right, but it's a lot easier, So, I mean, just keep that in mind. Remember these logical fallacies like cognitive dissonance, like straw man, because if you don't understand them, if you don't know what they are, then people who do know what they are will use them against you, and they can easily use them against you. Because if you didn't know any better, then you would think that my Uncle Wolf here is making all these crazy accusations, against Vic, because you don't have any other context other than, oh, he's saying I took pleasure in someone's death. No, that's not at all what happened. You're falling victim to a straw man.
Yep. He broke it down pretty eloquently. That's pretty, just got a message from somebody.
All right, Justin Simon, you're going to timeout.
Who was it? What do you say?
Something vulgar.
Yep. John Villafranco, thank you for your donation. Yeah, and if anybody sees Skillies, whatever, who's been just trashing me on Reddit, just totally twisting and controlling the narrative. It was a bunch of stuff on there about Bick. If you go to Reddit, and there's people just complaining left and right about Bick Cundiff on Reddit. Now, it's just right out there, public information. But this other person got on there, and they said that. And the reason we have to waste time with this instead of putting out good content is because I can't get anything done. I mean, it's this is just a constant ongoing thing with his army of trolls. You can't. We're bombarded. It's a constant. My phone, everything. It's just, my wife is waking up. She's tired. She's weary. She's just like, how long is this going to go on? I don't know. I don't know how long this is going to go on. He's sitting back and laughing while we're over here, doing damage control.
Yeah, I want to address a comment from Michelle Burns. I'm not going to read all of it, but the gist of it is saying, "Can we please stop this and move on? It's not why I support your channel." But I mean, she's not being like mean, critical, whatever. She's a supporter. I think she just kind of hurts her to see that, to see this. We will move on from this, but you have to understand that this is not like some kind of. It's not like just being petty internet drama. That it really, I can attest to the fact that it really is a bombardment, and it's extremely invasive in real life. It's no longer as simple as, oh, just turn off the computer and it's gone. Like these things
are affecting everybody,
and this is a trend with people who deal with this person, is their personal lives are become invaded by people who have nothing better to do, and people who take pleasure in messing with other people and trying to trying to decrease the quality of other people's lives. So just try to be understanding, try to put yourself in both shoes here, because it really is. It really is something that's no longer just internet drama, but yeah, and it's affecting him. It's affecting Nelly.
Wife.
Nelly's getting messages, and Nelly is a very nice. She's a very sweet person. She's a kind-hearted woman, and people are sending her the nastiest things,
saying that she exploited my mom, and then her mom's dead because her mom died in May too. Not this May, but. Calling her, names because and saying that she was using my mother's death to, and dude, her and my mom were close. They talked all the time. Every time I was on a live stream, she was on the phone with my mom, because Nelly gets anxiety attacks, and she's a vulnerable person. She's an empath. She's very empathic, and anybody who suffers, she suffers, and she's watching all of us suffer. She hates to watch me and Anthony and everybody else have to deal with this, Tony, me, Anthony, everybody that's involved, my brother, Scorpion, everybody who's friends with me, who's gotten involved with the show, Chief. I mean, everybody's been getting their dose of this crap. People trying to defend me left and right, but these people they're just being overrun. I mean, they're like an army of trolls. I mean, it's crazy, and when you start talking about killing people and saying all this other stuff, I mean, you ain't gonna do nothing, dude. Shut up. You're gonna sit behind your keyboard and eat Cheetos, man. I already put the offer out there. If you want to do something, let's do something.
And the thing about moving on with the show, the thing about moving past all this and moving on with the show, is that you also have to understand that in order for us to properly do that, we as a team have to be in the right place mentally and emotionally to be able to produce good content. Because let's say that we try to record new content right now in the middle of all this stuff, not just in the middle of all this drama that we're talking about now, but coming right off the heels of my grandmother, Wolf's mother, dying. Like we really have to be 100%, because if we go into this and we're not in the right place mentally, and we're not sure, and we're dealing with stuff, and we're stressed out and sad about things, then we're doing a disservice to y'all because we're not giving y'all content at 100%. So you're going to get content that's probably subpar, and we don't want to waste our time. We don't want to waste your time. You know, y'all have been great. Y'all have been supportive. We have almost 15,000 subscribers now. These live streams have just been growing and growing and growing. We always get super chats, and there's been up to 600 people in the last one. I mean, y'all have been good to us, and we owe it to y'all to be good to y'all, to reciprocate that and to be good to y'all. And in order for us to do that, we need to make good content consistently. And in order to make good content consistently, we have to be in the right mental and emotional state to do that. So that's what we are working on right now.
Yeah. If you go to just go to Reddit, I don't even need to start reading all these. Go to Reddit. If you can see that, Vic Cundiff issues on Reddit. I'll read the first one. There's a bunch, but I can just read the first one. It says, so the guy who shared the 3-man dog man hunting experience on Vic's show did another interview on a different show where he claims that he asked Vic to delete that episode due to all the hatred he received. This guy says that Vic told him that he was making too much money from the video and hung up on him. Yep. Vic seems super empathic and friendly on his podcast, so it's almost hard to believe that he would be a dick like that. But then again, he sounds creepy as F. I'm not going to say that. And fake, too. I've had a few folks in the dog manosphere both say that they hear nothing but negative reviews about Vic from guests they share with him. Once you're done, Vic has nothing else, no use for you. There's no other. You're like tissue, dude. You're done. You're done. He had a use for me, which is why he pretended to be my friend. I say pretended to be my friend because a friend wouldn't go on and say something about my mom, say something about me after my mom died. Oh, don't lash out at him, laugh out loud. Yeah, yeah.
That's another classic passive aggressive tactic. I'm sure there's a name for that tactic too. I'm just not aware of what it is, but well, I guess it's reverse psychology. You know, it's like whenever you tell someone, whatever you do, don't do this thing. Don't do this one thing that don't do this one specific thing that I'm telling you specifically not to do. Don't do it. Don't do that. This thing right here that I'm pointing at, that I'm showing you, don't do this. I mean, it's transparent.
One of the things that Vic told me about in Dark Waters a long time ago, when Dark Waters and him were going at it, I approached Vic and tried to kind of ask him what was going on with this situation, you know, tried to be supportive and be in his corner, wasn't really understanding the whole situation and why Dark Waters was so angry and hated him so. And he told me, and get this, and Anthony can verify this, he told us, he said, hey, let it go. Let Dark Waters go on the air and complain about me and say all these bad things about me. He's like, I welcome it because he's getting me publicity. Because he told us, he said, even bad publicity is good publicity. Isn't that correct?
Yeah.
And so, you know, basically was like, hey, he was reveling in it, dude. And he knew that his listeners were going to fight for him. And he told me that. He goes, I don't have to do anything. And I saw his listeners just go to war. I mean, just attack that guy. And I thought, oh my gosh, it was very eye-opening for me. And it was scary. And I think he was pointing it out to me as a threat for the future. I honestly felt threatened by that. I felt like he was kind of telling me, you know, this could be you. You know, and I told my brother, I told my wife, I told everybody in our group, I said, I don't like where this is going, because it's like someone takes a sword and they stick it in someone, and then they turn and they show you the sword, and then they say, you see the blood on that sword? That would be a shame if that ever had to be you falling on that sword. And I felt halfway threatened. I was almost like, you know, like, I better be quiet and just mind my P's and Q's. And that's what I did. As I built my show, I stayed friends with him. If you notice, I really only had him on my show one time as an interview. He offered to come on my show a couple times. I declined. I just was like, no, yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. And I just I didn't decline, but I kind of put him off. But I didn't really want him to come on my show. I didn't want to get, because I knew at some point, I don't want to get too in with this guy, because if something happens, man. So when I would listen to him talk about people and how much he hated so many different people in this community and how they hated him, and I thought, this guy, like, he's got like a lot of enemies. Like, this dude, like, nobody really likes this guy. Like, none of the big names anyway. And he would always say, "Oh, it's jealous, man. Oh, it's jealous." Yeah, I guess, but I couldn't help but feel like, man, that could easily be me with my head on the chopping block one day, and then my turn came, and wasn't ready to fight. But when somebody attacks you and punch you in the mouth, you got to punch back. Amy, thank you for your donation. Voltron, that's a great donation. Thank you so much. Is when they talk smack about you, just keep moving. But when they threaten your family, that's a whole different situation. I got love for you, PRT crew. Sorry for yours and the family loss, bro. Nothing but love from Houston. Yeah, H-Town. I like H-Town a lot, man.
Thank you very much, Voltron. You've been good to us.
Go Astros.
Consistently.
But
and I want to make a comment on the whole all press is good press or whatever. To an extent, if you're going to be a public figure or content creator or whatever, if you're going to be in the public eye, to a reasonable extent, you do have to accept that you'll always get some amount of bad press. Like, I mean, that's just common sense. It's just pragmatism. But to purposely adopt the mentality that all press is good press, like even bad press is good press, and to even revel in it, that's it. It's almost like a sign of like a narcissistic personality, but it also a sign of like sociopathy. Because if you, it's like if you can just not care that your actions or your words or your life is having such a negative impact on so many people, then I mean that's not normal. That's an indication that you have some sort of mental problem going on there.
Well, he also knows that
it's good for making money and getting views. I mean, look at that. What's his name? Jake Paul.
Yeah.
That they're making money hand over
millions of
fist,
dollars. Yeah.
just getting people to hate him.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what I said. It's smart, but is it right? No. There's a difference between what is smart and what's right. And right and wrong has nothing to do with smart and dumb.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at what he told me himself, I don't have to fight anyway. He lets his listeners do it all. And I always thought what a horrific situation to have to be in that DW was in, because some of the things that were done to him and said about him were beyond the pale. I was just like, I even told Vic, I was like, man, this is kind of, it's not like I don't have the stomach for war. I just don't think people should be taking pictures of people's kids and let people know where people live and their school. I've had people telling me they found where Vic lives, and I don't care. I don't want to know, and I'm not going to put on here where he lives. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to tell you what he looks like, because I'm pretty sure now I know what he looks like. I'm not going to tell you what he looks like. I'm just not going to do that, because if something happens to this fool, then I'll be getting blamed, or it'll come back to me somehow. Sean Lucky, full of love for the PRT crew and family. Keep going and doing. Don't let them win. Wolf, y'all are the truth. Much love and best wishes to everyone dealing with the situation. I want to read one other thing to you. This person says, I have spoken to Vic about my encounter, and while he pretended to want to help, because I've been dealing with a lot of PTSD issues as a result, which happens. It says, it mostly boiled down to, I didn't believe him and argued with him when he attempted to convince me that they weren't dangerous. It's another narrative they always pushes. Yeah, if they wanted to kill you, they would, because they don't kill people. Nobody's ever been hurt by these creatures, and the government definitely isn't involved. Yeah. Whatever, fool.
I mean, a lion might see you and
Maybe it's not hungry.
Not kill you, but does that mean they're not dangerous?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is
You see a great white shark in the water. Looks harmless. Looks like you probably just ate a seal. I'm going to take my chances. I'm going to swim out a bit. Why don't you just assume that it could probably kill you because it is a predator? Moron.
I mean, to say that an alpha predator is not dangerous is just...
So this person...
you must really think people really are stupid.
Well, he does think people are stupid. He's the smartest guy on earth. Says, I'm not going to say the word. I knew my crap and was correcting the terminology he chose to use. Finally, my biology major came in handy in something other than getting me passed over for jobs. I told him I wanted to remain anonymous, and I didn't want to come on his show. That last one was the reason I believe he suddenly couldn't spare any more time for me. I'm sorry, dude. When a radio host is telling me what I know is 100% BS, both from my educational standpoint and my personal experience, it's time to be done with him, especially when he was gushing about how his listeners would really love to hear about this one. No, screw you and your listeners, dude. I initiated contact because I was genuinely searching for anything that could help me through this and provide a few answers. So don't go to Vic if you want to be taken seriously, and don't try to get any information out of him. He knows Jack, SH, whatever, will attempt to use you for his own purposes and will point blank lie to you all under the guise of extending a helping hand. It should also be noted that if it effectively messed me up even more because reliving it in its entirety made my anxiety and stress skyrocket more than it already had been. It does more damage to someone trying to heal to tell someone who pretends to care, but gaslights you and tries to use you rather than telling someone who flat out doesn't believe you, but still gives a crap about your well-being. Yeah. And then there's other people that just, it goes on Reddit. And what they're trying to do now is make a bunch of Reddit stuff about me. So now I'm the bad, evil baddie who's doing all these bad things. I'm the evil bad guy, evil. Whatever. Another thing, too, I got a message from Roger, who was on the show. And he was supposed to put it in the comments. I don't know if he did. Roger, if you're listening, can you post that in the comments? Hi, honey. My wife just showed up in the studio. You okay? Yeah. It's hot out there, isn't it? Yes, it is. I almost had a dang anxiety attack from the heat last night, folks. The fights were epic. It was some great epic. Just so you know, Chief, the guy that I interviewed, was a really good kid. Can't remember his name. He's an African-American kid. He fought Chief. Chief choked him out in 11 seconds. Yeah, Chief's pretty good. I helped train Chief years ago. I pushed him in the direction of, I'm not taking credit for his training. He's done it himself, but coached him in boxing and pushed him in the direction of grappling because he was such a great grappler. Decent boxer, but much better grappler. And I said, you got to be a grappler. I wrestled, did all kinds of stuff, boxed, grappled. Just kind of what I've done my whole life since I was a young man. Anthony knows I can sit here and brag or whatever, but I'm not going to brag about my accolades and who I've beat up or whatever I've done, or who I've trained and what they've gone on to do. It doesn't matter. We're not here to talk about that. I'm just saying that the fights were epic. People were asking me. My nephew Zane, who Chief has been training, and who Deuce King, I want to send a shout out to Deuce, great boxing coach. They've been training him. Deuce, what's it called? Pillow choke. They call it a
Zane,
pillow. Yeah.
Yeah, Zane won his fight his match via pillow choke.
Via pillow choke, and it was 1 minute and 30 seconds, something like that.
I think that.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. It's pretty quick. I mean, he overpowered the dude pretty good. Yeah. You could tell right from the start that Zane was going to be able to, like, right when they locked arms and Zane was driving him back, I just knew, okay, this is going to be over quick.
And let me tell you something. All I wanted to do yesterday was just have fun and enjoy watching my friends beat people up. That's pretty much it. But no, I had to get and then after Ryan got on there and said something to the guy, and Tony said something to the guy. I think you did too, Anthony, didn't you?
So, oh yeah, yeah.
And then, my wife got on there, and then next thing you know, we're all getting attacked, and we're, and Chief's like, dude, we can't even have a moment of peace and put on a host a fight event without these people attacking us and bringing, come on, man. I mean, this is getting into my everyday life. People telling me, oh, we know where you live. We know where your family lives and all that. All this, you're going to go through all this for your cult leader, for this guy, for this dude who makes posts basically laughing at y'all? I mean, his posts, it basically comes out, and I could read all these weird comments from all this different stuff, but it's like, think about it, folks. Let me ask everybody out there in YouTube land a question, okay? To quote my friend, the late Brenton Swanson, Tallman. YouTube land, he always said, hello, YouTube land. He was always a good guy, nothing bad to say about people. Brent would always say, hello, YouTube land. Well, I'm gonna address YouTube land right now. I'm gonna tell you. Okay. This guy comes out and makes these crazy statements and says, shame on you, shame on you, shame on you. Basically calls you a bunch of idiots, and you still go running out and supporting him. Okay. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But one of the main points I wanted to touch on was this. How can you people, as listeners, okay, think that you know him better than I do? Somebody who worked with him for 6 years. Think about it. How could you know him better than me? How do you know his mindset better than me? How many conversations have you had with this individual? I've had too many to even count. I've had a ton of conversations with this individual through messages, tons of phone conversations. Last conversation we had together, he was very angry at me because his phone number got put on the live chat on accident. We took it off, and he made a big stink about it. It was just went on and on and on about it. And even sent me a picture of a razor saying that he would cut somebody. But I think that was a joke. I think it was meant as a joke. I really don't think he was trying to be. But by the same token, the fact that he did it was almost kind of like, putting you on notice that, hey, I'm joking, but, still sort of a threat. How you make a joke, but you're still kind of threatening somebody, like, this is kind of how I took it. And it kind of threw me aback, and I was like, at that moment, I was pretty much done with him. I was like, I am not ever going on his show again. I made that publicly clear on my show, and people kept asking me about it. And it was basically because of the thing with Marvin, but also because of everything that I had seen this dude doing to people. And I was just like, I want to distance myself from this individual. And the only reason I ever even tried to get him to come on during that freeze we had, everybody was coming on the show. I had Lyle Blackburn, I had Nick Redfern, I had Ken Gerhardt, all back to back to back, and then I had Vic. It's because everybody was like, "Where's Vic? We want Vic. We want Vic." So I asked, and that was the last time I ever talked to him. Never had him on the show again, and never had any plans to have him on the show again, and wanted to distance myself from him. So my whole thing was just, getting away from the Vic Kunda sphere, just not being a part of his sphere of influence, not allowing him to control the narrative when it came to me. I just didn't want anything else to do with that guy and his, whatever. The timing of his posts speak volumes. The day that my mother died, coming out and saying what he did, telling people basically not to attack me when you knew that that's what they were going to do. Come on, dude.
Well, and the thing about that post is that there's no positive way, or there's no way you can read that, and if you're thinking logically, there's no way you can read that and have like a positive view of Vic's intentions, because let's remove everything that we've talked about up to this point, and just pretend like we have a clean slate. All right, we're back to square one, and you read that post that Vic had made, basically referring to Wolf as a backbiter. I mean, in all but name. You know, he didn't name him, but it was pretty obvious he was alluding to Wolf as someone who's basically a backbiter, right? Well, he makes that post on the day that Wolf's mother dies. Okay, we're left with two possibilities. The first possibility is, let's start with the worst possibility. The worst one is that Vic knew that it happened that day, and he made a strategic decision to attack Wolf on that day at that time in order to like while he was at an emotional low point, in order to provoke Wolf into making a mistake, lashing out, and discrediting himself. Okay, that's one possibility. But let's say that wasn't what happened. Right? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say Vic didn't do that. That's too mean. Whatever. Blah blah blah. Okay, fine. So then we're left with the second possibility that Vic didn't know about what happened on that day, and in which case he made that post at a very bad time due to his own obliviousness, lack of awareness, and he put his foot in his mouth. Now, whenever we as people, we say something at a bad time, we say the wrong thing at the wrong time, and we put our foots in our mouth, you know, human dignity dictates that you have to, at the very least, apologize for that, for something like that. You know, like if you make a mistake, it's common sense. If you make a mistake, oh crap, I said this, I made this point at the wrong time. This is not the right time for this. I apologize. I wasn't aware. You know, at the very least, it warrants an apology. So the point is, at worst, it was a strategic decision, and he did it on purpose. At best, he just put his foot in his mouth, in which case, you know, that warrants some form of apology, something, you know. I mean, there's just no, there's literally no other way to interpret that. I mean, just remove all of your emotion from it, and look at it like you're a robot. Look at it completely, like with just cold logic. And if you break it down like that, you'll see that these tactics are being used, and that it suddenly becomes very transparent. You know, when you're not clouded, when your judgment is not clouded by emotion, and you can read something and break it down, then you start to see, oh, okay, this is what this really means. If I read between the lines here, this is what these intentions really were, or these are the actual possibilities, like I just explained. So, I mean,
well, here's the one thing that he could have done. A very simple apology, but he didn't do that. He kept it going by launching this other little passive-aggressive attack. What he could have easily done is sent condolences about my mother's passing. He could have said, "Hey, man, I'm really sorry." He was already mad about his phone number being put out there, whatever, which was only temporary, and we got it down as soon as the live stream ended. We fixed it for him. He acted like a big crybaby about it, and practically threatened me about it. And so, you know, I felt bad about that, you know, and I apologized repeatedly, but he was just still going on and on about it. You know, his secrecy is very important to him. And but he takes it to a level of just like almost insanity, dude. I don't get it. It's just so ridiculous, dude. But if you're planning on, you know, gaslighting a bunch of people and messing with people, then yeah, you're going to hide. You're going to be, you know, you're going to be hiding out. You're not going to let people know who you are, where you are. Dark Waters, don't hide. Dark Waters is a real man. Okay, he lives in New Orleans, and he tells you, "Hey, boy, I live in New Orleans. Come on, what's up?"
Yeah, I was listening to his.
He don't give a crap. He's a man like me. We're called men. That's what men do. I don't hide.
Yeah, I was actually listening to his video that he made about this whole situation the other night, and I listened to the whole thing from start to finish, and I really got the sense that he's a genuine person, and I'm sure he understands that he's not for everyone. Like yourself, y'all are an acquired taste, and maybe people can call y'all mean or a-hole or arrogant, this and that. But one thing they cannot call people like you and Dark Waters is
Fake.
or liars. And I mean, I respect genuine people, even if I don't like them. Even if I don't like someone, if I see there's no lying in them, there's no facade, and how they approach people, how they deal with people, then in my mind that warrants a level of respect, and it was kind of funny, like Dark Waters was kind of trying to regulate himself on the cussing, which I really kind of didn't mind, because like he doesn't, okay, there's a difference between Dark Waters going on his show and like saying these cuss words, and Marvin going on his show and saying these cuss words. Someone like Marvin talks like that just out of pure ignorance, but Dark Waters, it's because he's the kind of, it seems like the kind of person where he's like, this is who I am, take it or leave it, I'm genuine, and I don't know, I really appreciated that. I respected that.
I had to fix my hair. It was all over the place. But yeah, I respect that about him too. I mean, I haven't had a ton of interactions with Dark Waters until recently. It was like, hey, what's up? Throwing a couple ideas about things here and there. And when I talked to Dark Waters, to his credit, he knew that me and Vic were friends. Never said crap about the dude. I approached Dark Waters one time about trying to make amends with Vic and trying to get them together to talk. And his response to me was just like, he's like, I would talk to him after he had to sit down and listen to what I had to say, which he would never do. And he told me that. He goes, he will never listen to what I have to say. He will never apologize. He's never going to be on the level and say, hey, I was wrong, James. I admit to what I did. No. Mm-mm. And so he knew that. He said, and then there's going to be some cussing. When I talked to Vic absolutely refused to ever talk to Dark Waters. And he said the same thing. There would just be a bunch of cussing, and it would be from both of them. It wasn't, one didn't say the other. But I have a lot more respect, and this isn't just because of in light of what's happened recently in recent events with Vic. I have a lot of respect for Dark, because, he said he'd be willing to sit, and hash it out and talk about it. But Vic would have to be called to the floor and answer some very hard questions. Something that Vic is not willing to do. Roger, if you're out there, if you're listening, I missed your comment. Can you post on here real quick so everybody at home can read what you had to say about Vic? Just post it on here again if you're there. Here, text Roger and ask him to repost it in case he's not paying attention. Because Roger messaged me while I was on the air. He messaged me to tell me something. And that was the witness to the LBL. But I guess it was missed, so I want Roger to repost that. So we'll keep our eye out for that, because I don't want to put the words out there myself till he says it.
Which one is it?
Oh, no, it's on the text. There's a million Rogers on the other one. The first one that comes up on the other one is Roger Carter, good guy. Listen to his show. No, this is a different one. I'm going to make a phone call. I'm going to get somebody on the line here. Man, that ZD smells good.
Mm-hmm.
That smells good, honey. Man, but I gotta drink my shake.
Oh, it's the Snap Kitchen.
Yeah. So, no, that's good. I like their pasta dishes. Let's see if we can get him to say what he's going to say. So I'm going to need to call. Dang it. Let me make this call to Ryan real quick. There it goes. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, what's going on, Josh?
Hey, what's going on, brother? So, obviously you're in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah,
you see what's going on, everything that's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been very interesting today. I'll say that.
Folks, this is Ryan Tremblay.
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
And Ryan was my co-host. Whisper to a Scream. We're gonna try and get that going again. We just so much going on. We can't even, So the reason I brought Ryan on, and Ryan and me had talked about this at length, and we thought it would be best to do a show where we can clear the air. And Ryan, you can come on and you can talk about seeing this whole thing from your perspective and what you know, and what originally touched it all off and how it got started. And we're not going to get into your former co-host and all that and how his part of it in the beginning.
Good idea.
Yeah, we're just going to leave him out of it because that's not going to just why give him anything.
Right.
So the situation with Marvin, which is what originally touched all of this off. Okay.
Oh God, all the lying that he did. I had so many people coming to me complaining about this guy, saying he was changing stories. He was trying to get money off of them, and then of course, as you know, Josh, he put us on blast. He said that we were trying to look into his past, and we were doing no such thing.
Nope.
And then I thought we had that squashed, but he sent all his trolls over to my channel and your channel. In fact, my channel's still getting attacked by some of his trolls today.
Mine too.
It's ridiculous, dude. And Vic stood by Marvin, and I have no idea why. I really don't. And Marvin called us all kinds of names, dude. We've been accused of being racist, been accused of lying to people, and it's just nonsense. It's complete nonsense.
Now I know that at one point you and your well, just let's leave him out of it. You had informed me that there was some donations that were made to him, and that he admitted that he had used those donations for nefarious things.
Yep, he sure did.
Yep.
So
yeah, and so when I called him to the floor on that on a phone call, we had me and him. He denied it. Now, he did admit taking money from people, but he denied that he did that.
Of course he did.
But he did say, he's like, oh, if I said that, I must have been joking. Like, he made it sound like it was a joke,
Yeah.
All these things that went on, you and I thought that Vic was an honest guy at that point. You had gone on his show, and the kind of relationship I had with Vic. I just called you up, and I said, hey, I'm going to call Vic, and we're going to talk to him, and I'm going to put you on his show. Is that not what happened?
Yeah, you guys were friends, or so I thought.
So I called him up with you on there, and I just called him up, cold called him, and said, hey, Vic, you got a minute? And he goes, yeah, what's up? And I told him, got Ryan, want to have him on your show. He's got a story, and I gave him you and your story before you came on my show because he said he wasn't going to take your story unless he got it first.
Right.
Correct. Okay.
Correct.
So we did that, and I gave it to Vic, and I did it for you because I thought he's got a much bigger platform than me. I wanted you to have the exposure to get your name out there because I think you do great work. I think you're a great guy, and you're a good friend too, by the way. And so I was like, I'm going to get him on there. We're going to do this. So yeah. So you went on his show. And it was just simply me telling Vic, hey, put him on the show. And he goes, okay. And he did.
Right. That's why I was so surprised by what he did. I mean, that is a friend betraying you, dude, in the worst way possible. If he didn't know about your mom dying, that's one thing. But come on, man. Everybody knew Josh. Yeah. How did he not know? He's got his finger on the pulse of social media. So, yeah, he knew. He definitely knew. And that was just wrong on so many levels.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. It was really disgusting.
Yeah, everybody knew that my mother was dying. I had been saying it on my for a month, that she was in the hospital. She's having all kinds of health problems. So when she died, it wasn't like a big shock. It was horrific for me because I had to sit there for days and watch her die. It was something that was soul crushing.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
And everybody and their dog had said my condolences, my condolences. I'm talking old enemies, guys that I hadn't that didn't like me. We differed. We had disagreements back in the early days about what Dogman was and this and that, but all that was elementary compared to this.
Well, of course, dude. That's your mom passing, man. Yeah. Everything else is backseat to that.
So to come out and say, oh, somebody doesn't like me, blah, blah, blah. I never said I didn't like him. Okay. Mm-hmm. And he can't misconstrue and say that's what he wasn't talking about me, because he never corrected that. He knew it was me. And, and I never said I didn't like him. I said he didn't like me.
Right.
I thought that was the deal. I thought he didn't like me. And so I was just sitting there going like, I can't believe. I showed my wife and I said, I can't believe what he just posted. Ryan, you were the second person that I showed that to.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember seeing that. That was just, whoa. I mean, my mind was blown, dude. When I saw what Vic had put, I was speechless. I really did not know what to say. Yeah. I mean, that is a friend really just stooping to the lowest level to hurt you. And I couldn't understand why. I could not fathom why he would do that.
Well, it's because, he's defending his money. I was going after Marvin, and to him, Marvin was a paycheck. Marvin got him a lot of views, and he admitted that when we talked. He was like, excuse me. He said Marvin. He's like, everybody loves Marvin. Which is another way of saying that people like him, so I'm going to keep him on the show lying.
No, of course. I mean, if it's money, then sell out your friends.
Yeah, and so he didn't care what I had to say, and. That at that point, I was like I'm like, dude, I'm not going to go back on a guy's show and let this individual use me for any more of his shenanigans. I'm just not going to do it. I gave him a lot of good stories that I had collected over the years, stuff that I had been collecting in my notebooks for years. Okay.
Right.
And I gave it to him. And he's made a ton of money off of it. Couldn't even be bothered to give me a T-shirt because he said that I didn't answer the message quick enough.
That is absolutely disgusting. Oh man, I used to respect the hell out of Vic, but seeing his true colors now, I can't be bothered, dude. Let him and Marvin have each other.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And here's the thing. Ryan, myself, and all of the PRT family and allies, everybody who's friends with us. I mean, there are people who have backed us up publicly. They're getting attacked. DW is getting attacked. We're getting attacked. We're all being trolled and attacked. And he has this whole army of people that he uses. And all he has to do is get on there and make some ridiculous statement like he did.
Yep.
The shame statement. I'm going to start calling it that. The shame statement. And that's all it took to stir the hornet's nest up and come after us. And he did it the day after we dropped the episode of the live stream with the Hendersons coming out and talking about what happened with them. And Barton Only was on there. And so I'm sitting there going like, this guy, if he's not a cult leader, if he's not a cult leader, then he sure is mimicking one.
He's doing a good impression too.
Mm-hmm. So Roger said he reposted it at the 826 mark. Anthony, can you help me find Roger's message here so I can read it?
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff said that's just absolutely wrong.
Ryan, get this. I just got a message from Barton, and Roger said in chat that he believes Vic is responsible for the people watching his house. He said it twice.
Okay, whoa, all right.
So that right there is another bomb. Doesn't surprise me.
I hope he's wrong. I really hope he's wrong. If Vic went that far,
not surprise me at all.
Well, no, I'm not surprised really, but
Can you turn the volume up for Ryan? I don't know if you could turn your volume up or somebody could turn the volume up.
I think my volume is nice.
Oh, is it good? Is it good? Because in my headphones it's not. So maybe I'm wrong.
I can turn up the volume. volume for your headphones specifically. So.
Okay, yeah, just for me specifically, because I want to make sure I can hear him. I sound louder, though, in my speaker. Am I too loud, folks? I don't want to be too loud.
You sound good to me, so.
You just hear yourself louder.
Okay, yeah, just for me specifically, I want to make sure I sound louder, though.
Yeah, everybody's saying they hear me.
So the thing is, folks, we're dealing with a guy who's become an institution in the dogman community.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and in some of the early days, can you turn my volume down on the headphones because it's blowing my ears out here? In the early days, he had some pretty good stuff. He had some pretty good guests on there, and he had people, but it just seemed like as time went on. It just got to where more and more of the people that the quality wasn't there, I mean, and it just, he's had some people that came on and pretty sure they just trolled him because they even admitted to me they just came on there and went blah, blah, blah. And basically one person told me they were drunk and went on his show and just said a bunch of stuff.
Well, it's all about the money for him now, dude. It's not about the research or the learning. It's all about the cash.
Yeah, yeah, that's all it is. It's just, and this is a joke. I mean, now, what's going on is he's made it into an absolute joke. It's become a farce. I mean, and so you're sitting there going like, I never set out to try to fight this guy and destroy this guy. I had this one lady saying that I'm greedy and that I'm trying to destroy all the other podcasters. If I was a greedy lady and I wanted everybody to listen to me and I wanted to make all this money, I wouldn't be doing this. And I wouldn't have tried to prop Ryan up and help him, okay? I wouldn't be trying to help him get his podcast going, okay?
Right.
I have not asked for a dime from anything that Ryan makes on his show. That's his. Ryan lives on a fixed income, folks. I'm just going to put that out there. He's not a wealthy guy, and he takes care of his mother who's ill, okay? And so anything that Ryan makes from that show, I don't want anything from that. That's his. And I'll go on his show and do it every time he asks me and not ask for a dime. And you have my word on that, Ryan, because I don't need it.
Oh, I know.
I'm not independently wealthy, but I mean, I've built a business. I don't need the help. I'm not here. The money I make from this show and all that, it's like, whatever. I mean, I could take it or leave it. I'm not doing this to be famous. I'm not doing this because I want to make a bunch of money.
You enjoy doing it.
I have a passion for it. Whereas I don't believe that Vic does.
Yeah. When you have that passion, man, you have the drive to do it. And it's not about the money, the clicks, the views. I mean, look at our show, man. My show's doing really good now, and your show's doing tremendous too. Yeah, there's a difference because we're sincere with our audience. It's not about the money, and people know that.
Yeah, and you want to get the information out there, and you do this stuff because you enjoy it. It's what you want to do.
Yes, that's what I want to do for a career. So yeah, it's not about how much money I can make per show.
Yeah, and for you, you've always said that you just have a passion for this subjects, and so me and you, when we've done our shows, we have great chemistry. We talk about the subjects. You do a lot of the research. I bring the stories, and we go and because more people give me the stories, obviously, because I've been doing it for a while. So I have the stories, and then you have a few, and then we put them all together, and we make an episode. And we really want the listener to just be enthralled and be absorbing the information. And you just an hour, 2 hours, however long it is, you just close your eyes and you listen and you imagine and you go into another world. And it takes you away from all the flim flam of life.
Right. And that's the point of the show, is to take you away from reality for a while and do something in the process.
Yeah. But when it becomes a business, when it becomes all about money and controlling a narrative or whatever the heck it is he's trying to do, which I think is both. I think it's him controlling a narrative and being something that, and then also just trying to make the money along, that's then it's not real. Then it's not about, it becomes something else. And it just seems like there is something missing from what he's trying to do. And I don't understand these people who knee-jerk just react and support him 100%. This is a guy who talks on his show for about 10 minutes. He's not even a real host. By his own admission, he goes off and does whatever. Anthony's sitting right here. He can tell you he's admitted to like being on the air and farting and doing whatever and just muting his mic and people not knowing that he's he's eating his sandwich or whatever. And then these people saying, "Oh, that's a horrible thing to say about him." Why not? That's what he said. That's what he that's what he said. That's what he does. So how can these people sit up here and you think you know him better than me? Actually, you know what? Shame on you, for even being that silly to be fooled like that, because you're talking to a guy who's been on his show a dozen times, who this guy has confided to me all kinds of stuff. Okay.
He's a weird guy to talk to. I remember during my interview, it was kind of like a long lull of silence where he wasn't saying anything. And I was like, okay, Vic.
Mm-hmm.
It was very strange. I'm telling you, it's not like your show.
Bye, honey. Say goodbye to my wife. She's leaving. But it's very weird because like when I'm bringing a guest on, I try to talk to him, make him feel comfortable. You've been on the show in some of the early with Ken Gerhardt. You didn't say a whole lot, but you were learning. You were trying to absorb, because on the other show you were on, you were not given much of a voice. And
I was silenced, man. I was pretty much shut up right from the get-go.
Yeah, and that was because he felt threatened. That's exactly what it was. So you were trying to learn, and so we had a conversation, and I said, hey, be more, get in there and talk, and, because you have a lot to offer. You have a lot to say. Now, if I'm so greedy and so selfish, and I hate to bring this up, and I'm not trying to throw this out there, but Ryan, have I not offered to help you in every way possible?
Oh, absolutely you have, yeah. Definitely.
Monetarily, equipment, whatever it takes. And I did that with Marvin in the early going. I offered to help him, but when people started coming to me and telling me the guy wasn't on the up and up, he wasn't telling people stories correctly, and my foolish self, I thought, and I told you this, I thought, well, I'll go to Vic and I'll just tell him, and he'll fix it. He won't put him on there anymore. Didn't I say that? That's how stupid I was.
I remember you saying that. I actually remember that. And then he's all of a sudden boosting Marvin every show.
Yep. The very next week after he told me, oh yeah, don't worry about it. I thought that don't worry about it meant, okay, I'm going to deal with this guy. I'm not going to have him on his show anymore. No, the very next week it was like, yeah, you dog, man. And I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? Like, am I taking crazy pills here? And I called you, Ryan. I called you.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I said, listen to who is on Vic's show again. And you were like, yep. And you had when I called you, you had just messaged me. And we were both,
I did. That was funny.
Yeah, and we were blown away. We were like, are you kidding me? And my wife was beside herself. And then Anthony was in shock, and everybody was in shock, except for my brother. My brother's very sarcastic, and he doesn't like Vic. So he was like, are you surprised? I mean, are y'all surprised? Dee was like, here's a guy who admits that he goes and takes a crap and makes sandwich. Are you surprised? And I was like, you know what? Dee's right. How can me and Ryan and Anthony, everybody be surprised by this guy's behavior? Look at what he said. I mean, look at how he treats people. He admittedly, he thinks you're stupid. He thinks the listeners, he thinks you at home are idiots. He thinks you're dumb. You'll believe anything.
Yeah, and people really got to look at what he said and look at it carefully. He's actually telling you how he feels about you guys.
Mm-hmm.
He really is. Yeah. He's coming right out, and he's letting you know you guys don't matter to him, that you're stupid.
You're stupid. Mm-hmm.
You're just your clicks, your views, and your money in his pocket. That's it. You're nothing important.
Yep, and he says himself that his audience is not real intelligent, and he doesn't go over their head with any kind of woo because they won't understand it. And I'm like, people will understand what you make them understand, and when you explain to them correctly, and I don't think he saw me as a threat because he thought I was just going to do everything but Dogman. So I think he kind of thought that I was never going to do Dogman.
I think he thought you were under his thumb, Josh.
Yeah.
He figured he had your friendship, he had your loyalty, so you wouldn't do anything that was outside of his scope.
Yeah, and that didn't happen.
You were already out of his scope, though. With your show, PRT, you were already above and beyond him, though. And I hope you realize that.
Well, I appreciate it, but you have a biased opinion because we're tight. But, but I mean, I think really highly of you too, Ryan. And Ryan has been supportive of me through all this. If you people really knew like what Ryan has gone through because of Marvin and his trolls and what they've done to him, if you people, and Ryan is not a public guy that goes out and says, hey, this is what's going on, these people are attacking me. He has suffered. And Ryan, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to put your business out there, but I'm going to tell you something.
That's okay.
He has suffered. Okay. And I know what they did. And no appealing to this fool has tried to get him to chill his people out or calm them down. Nope. They didn't stop. They don't stop. They don't stop. They just keep doing it. And it just keeps going on. Can't stop, won't stop. That's what happened. Just kept
exactly
doing it.
right.
I mean, it was just like, and I tried to have a conversation with this guy, and then I had to literally go on his show and call Marvin to the floor. Yeah, I went on his show, and we started arguing at first. And I told him, I said, "Did I not try to talk to you? Did I?" And I laid it out there. And then you know, Marvin was like, "Yeah, you did, blah blah blah," you know. But the thing is, he didn't stop. He didn't get his people under control. They continued to come into our live streams and our chat rooms, and we had to boot them. They continued to infiltrate our groups. Guy from Texas, whatever his name is, he did it yesterday during the fight video. That had absolutely nothing to do with Vic, had nothing to do with Marvin Allen or any of that other stuff. And what does he do? He gets on there and says, "I stand with Vic." What does that have to do with anything? We're at an event, right, Anthony? As far as I know, Vic was not at the event.
That was a way of jabbing at you, Josh. That's all that was.
Yeah, on a video that I posted where my nephew was on a fight card, and one of my best friends and one of my brothers from the old days, Chief, was on there, and we're sitting there, and I'm just like, what does this have to do with anything? Like, you know, there were people around me that were checking out the video, and they were like, "Who the heck is that? And what is he talking about?" Because those guys in the fight game, my life isn't just PRT. Like, I'm into the fight game, you know. I do PRT. I do a lot of stuff, man, and security business and all that, you know. And so I'm a multifaceted person, you know, and have a lot of interests. It's like you have a lot of interests. We're not just sitting here enthralled about what's going on. We have a life outside of this. Anthony has all kinds of stuff that he does. Hell,
that's something I want to touch on, Josh, is, you know, we are human beings.
Human beings.
So when somebody does us wrong in some way, we have emotions that are going to be affected. And we can't just ignore those and just let it go. You know, for people to say, "Oh, let it go, ignore it," I'm sorry, but that's BS. It's not personal because it didn't happen to you. If it happened to them, they'd be up at arms as well, which is, you know, that's what you are right now. And you have a right to be. And if anybody says otherwise, they don't know their ass from their elbow.
Yeah, it's important to empathize and be able to put yourself in other people's shoes. And that goes back to one thing that the Wolf was always teaching me about is being able to perceive things from someone else's perspective and you know, see things from their eyes, because it's easy to say, I'll just do this, just move on, just do that, but you know, if you're not in their position, it's impossible for you to understand. Like, okay, if Wolf is okay, because Wolf is a large, you know, alpha predator, and you know, he can destroy let's say a 6'4", 300-pound man, you know, like, because he can do that, right? And like, okay, now let's say you put that guy against me, and Wolf was like, well, just break his leg, just break his face, just smash his head in, just do that. Like, okay, you are not looking at it from my perspective, Uncle Wolf. This man is going to smash me. I'm not you. You know, like, you're not putting yourself in my shoes here. You know, it's the same thing. Like, if you can't see things from someone else's eyes, then a lot of what you say is going to be very ill-informed.
Very true. That's very, very true, Anthony.
Gentlemen, I'll give you an example. When I was a kid, I went to an Abeka school. Now, Abeka school is a very advanced Christian Science academy. Very hard. Okay, we were doing like pre-algebra in 5th grade. We were doing term papers. It was ridiculous. My mom worked as a business, I don't know what she did, like a business manager and a consultant. She was also a part-time tax accountant. My dad was an electrical engineer, very intelligent, worked for Samsung. Both of them were math whizzes. And I'm good in math. But when I was little, okay, I'm talking like 8, 9 years old, I didn't know algebra. I didn't know pre-algebra, okay, which is what this school was doing. And so the first semester was very rocky, and I failed. It was just, it was horrible. It was horrible. It was one of the worst times of my life as a child. And I had both of my parents yelling at me on either side of me, trying to make me understand these numbers. And I'm going like, I was crying. I just remember crying and going, I don't understand this. I don't. And they're like, how can you not understand this? Okay, I can understand it because y'all are 30 years old or whatever, 35 or whatever, how old they were. And you're both master geniuses, okay? And how am I supposed to, as a little kid, even comprehend, and why is it so hard for me to understand? Years later, my mother apologized. My dad never did, but my mother apologized and was like, I'm sorry, mijo, I never should have been treated you that way. You didn't understand. You were a little kid, you know, and my mom was a workaholic. You worked all the time. And so it eventually, as I got older and I was, I did good. I was good in math, and I grew up, and I'm very good with numbers. Anthony can attest to that. I'm very, very good with numbers, and I come by it from both of my parents. My parents are both literally geniuses IQ. My mother, God rest her soul, is just one of the smartest people I've ever met. My dad, unfortunately, he's not really a very nice guy at times, but he's a very intelligent guy too. He's very, very smart. I mean, is that not correct, Anthony?
Yeah.
Very, very intelligent. And so, when you have a child, though, from two people who just, they think that you're supposed to come out, just be smart like them, like, just be, you're supposed to know numbers, That's what Anthony's talking about. These people, that's how I feel when you tell me, oh, just move on and just forget about it. Just forget about, oh, he said he was going to kill your wife. Like, just blow it off, I'll never forget Jim Gaffigan, the comedian, he's like talking about, yeah, there's a pack of wolves over there by the 8th hole at the golf course. Just play through. Just ignore them. They killed a few people over there, but I'm sure you'll be fine. That's what you're telling me. You're basically telling me that these people who are on a daily basis making my wife cry about the horrible things you're saying about me, the horrible things you're saying about her, saying things like, oh, we're glad your mother died. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, so what if Johnny Henderson's wife, they don't care. They're like, we don't care. They do not. Some of his listeners must be as sociopathic as him. To sit up here and say the crazy crap that they say. And it's like, you would never say that stuff to that man's face. I dare you to go to Dark Waters and say it in his face. I would pay big money. You'd be shocked the size of the check I'd write to see them come to me or that guy and say those things to our face. I wish you would.
Yeah, social media has created a very large problem of people being so far removed from the consequences of their actions. It's not even funny.
I saw about 20 fights yesterday of real people getting choked unconscious and getting, taking a beating. That's real life, folks. But you know what? Even those ones that got beat, some of them got beat pretty quick and pretty violently. I can tell you this, man, you would not get in that octagon and do what they did.
No, I would not. I won't deny it.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about just the average. Yeah, maybe some of you guys out there got some sand that you'll do it. But most of you guys aren't going to do that. Okay. And I'm just going like, if you got some sand and you really think you're tough, man, I know a legion of fighters here. We could go to just about any gym. I'm Wolf. Okay. Most people in Austin know who the heck I am. Most people in Texas know who the heck I am. You say Wolf, you go, oh, Wolf. Okay. Like, hey, I'm going to beat somebody up in your dojo later. Is that okay? Sure. You'll have a bunch of people there ready to watch me beat you up. Done it before. Like people call me to the floor at the club. Oh yeah, you can beat me up while I'm drunk. Let's go fight at Lord's. That's a gym here in Austin. Let's go fight here. Let's go fight there. Good. Let's go. Okay. Let's go to Pan Am and watch me beat you up. Because that's what'll happen. But you're not going to do that because you're cowards and you're going to talk a bunch of mess behind your little keyboards and you're going to make threats and make my wife cry and whatever. But you know what? Shame on you. Okay. Like Vic's trying to say shame on you. Yeah, shame on you. That's why he's scolding you like toddlers, because he knows you're little toddlers, you're little kids, dude. But he knows he's gonna stir the little rascals up and get them all going. Hot pockets, your little hot pockets, as DW says, and DW, if you're listening, I'm sorry, I'm co-opting your words, man. But hey, you know what?
He was just here. Did he leave already?
I don't know. I have no idea, but that's what they are. They're hot pockets. They get all mad, get all angry. And then when they start talking all their mess and all this stuff goes down, what happens? Vic don't come to your rescue. Where's he at? He ain't helping you. He don't give a crap about you.
Let me interject. Thank you, Evan, for your $50 super chat. It says they're all a bunch of keyboard killers, which goes right into what we're saying right now.
And Graydon McKee, thank you for yours. And Casey Kitt, thank you for yours. All the donations, appreciated. And I'm sorry that we have to waste an episode of our time talking about this nonsense. Ryan, we need to get together. We need the Wendigo episode. We can just drop that next Friday. We'll do that. Me and you can co-host it. You can start putting it together now. I'll just make the prediction. Hopefully right now, folks, by next Friday, we'll have that episode and we'll drop it on your channel and mine. And we'll see what happens. We'll get ready for that. I wanted to get Chad Lewis. I just haven't even had time to scratch my head, much less call Chad and see what's going on with him. But I just
time on that, Josh, because Ashers and I are working on the Demon Shark episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people have expressed interest in the demon shark.
The
So I'm
Black
gonna go ahead.
Diamond? You're talking about the Black Diamond from the
Black
Pacific?
demon.
The
Yeah,
Black Demon? Well,
yeah.
yeah, because I remember them calling it the Black Diamond. I don't know if it's the same thing, but yeah, you're talking about the tibulon, or whatever they call it, the Black Tibulon. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are really showing
Mm-hmm.
interest in that. So I figured she and I can get that one out, do some skinwalker stuff,
Mm.
and then up to the Wendigo.
Yeah. Let me know. Let me know when you're
Absolutely.
ready if you want to do the Wendigo episode, because I've been looking forward to doing that one too. That's another of the art contests I'm going to do. We kind of missed it because my mom's death and everything that happened. But
Right.
like I said, the art contest's on. If anybody wants to submit,
Oh, the art contest is back.
yeah, we're
Sweet.
doing it. We're going to do it, guys. It's
All right.
it's going to be the Jersey Devil. A few people sent it in, and unfortunately, I still have yours, but unfortunately, we didn't get to do it because my mom had passed
Mhm.
away. May has been a horror. Just 2 years ago, my friend John Kelly died on my brother's birthday on May 5th, and then last year Willie died on May 12th, and then my mother died this year on May 16th. Now, 2005, my grandmother died in May. My aunt Hova, who I loved and cherished very much, she died in I think what was it, 2014, 13, 14. She died and it would have been May. She died technically June 1st, but it was pretty much May. So May has just been a house of horrors for me. I have lost so many of my family and friends. I was just talking to Tommy Kelly earlier today and talking about John Kelly, one of my really dear friends who died. And when I went to his memorial like year before last, I never dreamed that the next year Willie would be dead, and then the year after my mom would be dead, and in the same month. And of course, Nellie's mother died years ago on May 29th. So, and it was the day after her birthday.
Oh, wow.
So, or the day before her birthday. I'm sorry. So,
goodness.
it was just a horrible thing, just May has been it's just really kicked me in the nads. And then, a lot of these things I had talked to Vic about. I mean, he knew a lot of these things, and he knew that my mother, was sick and was dying, and he absolutely had to have known that. And then to come out and say, what he'd say, what he did,
My question is, though, how would he not know, Josh?
Yeah.
How would he not know? I mean, you did a live video when your mom first passed.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he had to look out on your friends list, look out on your page, so he had to see that somehow. There's no way he did not know.
Well, it was his way of coming out, and then there were people who were and still are dumb enough.
Mm-hmm.
They really are dumb enough. These hot pockets, they're dumb enough to actually say, "Well, I saw the comment he made, and he never mentions Josh. So how could all this just get this is just getting blown way out of proportion? How does this get blown out of proportion? Do what?
The way that he worded that, people knew who he was talking about, so he didn't have to mention your name.
Mm-hmm.
They automatically knew exactly who it was he was talking about, and Vic knew what he was doing. So no excuse for that.
Yeah, and then they make the most asinine comments about how, Chris Smith, thank you for the donation, by the way, and so they make these comments about how how could he, have known, and I'm pretty sure Vic didn't know that this was the deal, and I just can't believe, and then they say, people who say it's been blown way out of proportion, or these fence sitters who said, well, I'm not choosing sides. I'm not choosing sides. I'll choose for you, and I'll just get rid of you, because if you can't see right from wrong, or you're too busy to know what the heck is going on, you really are going to sit there and comment, and then you don't really know what's going on. I cannot believe that you would not understand my point of view. I just cannot. There's no way in heck that you would not be able to understand what this guy did, and sit there and justification of it is just so ridiculous. I announced on that last live stream that was it. We were going to move on. We weren't going to talk about it anymore.
Right.
Vic knew that. Okay, he had to have known. His army of trolls are probably listening in right now. They're all listening. They're his hot pockets. So what did he do? The very next day, he makes the video, shame on you. Oh, imagine my surprise. Oh, ho, ho, ho. What fabulous timing, Mr. Vic Cundiff, to come out and say that, okay, after I said, hey, we're done with it. We're going to move on. We're not going to talk about it anymore. So what does he do? He stirs the pot so that will have to bring me back to the table to defend myself again. And then this whole Reddit campaign that was started by Skillas, whatever, that person needs to be, I don't know, man, that person right there, you make me sick. You did a oversimplified version of what we talked about on that show, lying, twisting, and turning. To me, it's like you're either Vic or you're just like so far up Vic's rear end that you can't even smell your own farts.
It's someone we know.
Or someone we know, yeah. And they're,
you know who I'm talking about, too.
Oh, yeah. Because that person's very much a part of this. And so they go and they make this Reddit account, and then it just becomes 78 comments of hating on me and talking about how, you know, I'm this horrible person, and, you know, I just went on the show and just trashed poor Vic for no, you know, just they totally just, and then they led with, I attacked a woman and said that she was on death's doorstep. No, the point I was trying to make about that, let me clarify that. This old woman, she was an old lady. I saw pictures of her. She looked like somebody's grandmother. She said the most horrible things to me. Quit crying. Nobody cares that your mom died and blah, blah, blah. You know, just went off on me.
That one. Okay.
And I'm going like, are you kidding me? There were 2 or 3 of them that were old ladies. They looked like they belonged in a sewing group or something. And they were just saying like the most horrible thing that could come out of you're thinking, this is old lady. I would have held the door open for her at the Walmart or what. I don't go to Walmart, but the H-E-B, the grocery store. And this old lady was just going off, just trashing, just, you know, nobody cares. Everybody's lost their parents. Well, of course you did. You probably lost your parents back in the 1880s when there was nothing but Native Americans in this country. From when you were on the Conestoga wagon, they probably shot them or whatever.
She needs to go fly off on a broom.
But yeah. And so I said, hey, you know, what my point was is like your exit looks like it's coming up pretty quick. Do you really think you should be saying those kind of things? Because you're going to be looking at your maker pretty soon, lady. You probably shouldn't be talking so horrible. And so I called her an old hag because that's what you are. When you say those kind of horrible things and you make my wife upset and you make other people in my family upset about your comments, it's horrible. You know, I got cousins and I got my sisters and my family. And do you think that they want to be able to, they want to look at this stuff and see all these things being said about their mother or their aunt? These people don't want to hear this crap. They don't want to, and now it's all on me because I'm the one that has the show. I'm the one that has the, you know, the whatever, the podcast. And so I'm over here having to deal with all this. And so I'm like, yeah, it's my fault. I brought all this down on my family, you know? And so all these people are going after my family and saying all these things, and it's my fault because I'm the one that has the show and who's a public figure, you know, and now I'm going to have to take precautions and steps to try to make sure that everybody's safe and everything else because this lunatic that sits up there in his, you know, where he lives, and I'm not going to give away the address because it's very possible that you know, something could happen if I did that. I'm not that stupid, you know, but he knows that I'm very public, so he can lash out, and he knows his hot pockets will go frenzy crazy and do what they're doing.
Absolutely.
You know, so, you know, I have to sit here and be careful because I have people that I care about, you know, and I was talking to my business partner the other day, and he's like, should I be worried? I'm like, well, I hope not. I mean, you know, just, you know, he's an old guy, you know, I don't want nothing happening to him. He's been more of a dad to me than my own dad was. And I've had a very good relationship with him for 14 years. And if anybody starts messing with him, I'm going to look at it as an attack on my own dad.
I hope it doesn't go that far.
I hope not, because it's reached out to a lot of people I care about. I mean, they've literally gone down my friends list and just started firing off on people, you know.
Of course, as they do.
I've been accused of being a Catholic priest that has an agenda for the Catholic Church, but I don't understand that. And then I've been accused of being a Satanist. I've been accused of, golly, I can't even imagine, like you know, I mean, everything you can imagine. You know, it's just they've just said the most horrible things and made up the most vicious and atrocious of lies about me, saying that all this is just for publicity and that I'm making a big deal out of it. When your mother dies, and I wish I could curse on here, but I'm not going to, but when your mother effing dies, okay, I'm going to tell you something, man. Let people troll you and attack you, and let somebody come out and say something that sicks a bunch of people on you, so that when you're there in the funeral, you have to literally turn your phone off so you don't get any more of these messages. That's what I had to do. That's what I had to do. Okay. It did not stop. Anthony's sitting right here. It has not stopped since that first message he made. Okay. And it's been going on nonstop since then. So what Anthony made, the point he made was like, okay, you want me to make shows and just move on and not talk about it? How am I supposed to make a show when I haven't even had a chance to grieve about my mom and even deal with anything, because all these people are just in a constant frenzy.
Yeah, if you're saying like, we'll just move on with the show, you really don't understand what you're asking for. You don't. You need to think about what you're saying. You need to think about what you're asking of someone, because if we just move on with the show you get is not going to be the show you want, because it's not going to. This thing, making these shows takes effort, or especially if you're trying to actually be good at them, and not just put some fool on your show for likes and whatever.
Right.
I mean, we actually care about the quality of our content. So there's no just moving on in the here and now. Like I said, you need to think about what you're asking of other people before you open your mouth. Use your brain. God gave you a brain. Use it.
Amen to that.
Yep. And it just goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
I mean, I had one lady, and what's really weird is it was like somebody said, "Oh, he attacks women" or something on my show. I never attack women. I left the Dogman X group because they were what I thought they were targeting females that were listening to my show. It seemed like it was very, I don't know, man, it bordered on like chauvinism or something. I mean, it was like they if a woman said anything, they would always jump on them, that particular group of guys. And I'm not trying to start anything with them because I don't need any more problems, believe me. But, I left that group because of that. And then somebody said, well, he's attacking women. But here lately, predominantly, and this is one of the things that I actually was talking with Johnny Henderson about yesterday, he noticed that. He said a lot of the people that are going after me are women. Now, that happened to you too, Ryan, with Marvin. It was like 90% of the people that were attacking you were like a hive of women. I just couldn't believe it. It was
fans of his.
Yeah.
It's still happening today. I just had to block a comment from a certain older lady who likes to run over at the mouth. I think you know who I'm talking about, Josh.
Probably. There's a bunch of them. I know one of them in particular. She recently, now get this, and Anthony, you're going to love this. I don't even think I told you this one yet. I'll show you the screenshot. But she said, "I hope you suffer." She's like, "and I know you have pets. I've seen you post videos with your pets." She's like, "I can put a curse and all your pets will die."
Oh my gosh, those are fighting words.
So now you're gonna come after my little cat and my little dogs because you don't like me. Because of what? Because of your cult leader, Lord Xerxes. "I am a generous God. Go forward, Hot Pockets. Shame on you for believing that your generous God would do anything other than have your best interest at heart. Don't go attack him." I mean, dude, give me a break, dude. I mean, you know what you did, One Trick Vic. You know what you did. I'd say some One Trick Vic, and I was reading it, and I said, yeah, One Trick Vic, exactly. Thank you for posting that. Because that's exactly what I just saw that on there, and I just said, yeah, One Trick Vic. You're right. You're absolutely. I mean, he did what he did. I mean, and this is not going to end. Okay, I'm calling you to the floor right now, Mr. Vic Cundiff. I'm asking you right now to come forward. Okay, people said, "Oh, well, has Josh even tried to reach out to him?" Yes, I have actually. Yes, I have. Okay?
Yes, and I did try to reach out to him too, Josh. I sent him a message a day after all this fired up. He did not read it nor respond to it, so that is on him.
He's not. I messaged him through the Dogman Encounters when he made that silly post, and I said, "Dude, are you kidding me?" And I said, "You need to make amends. You want to make amends? I will never be cool with him. He could drop millions of dollars of cash out of an airplane. It could just fall in my lap, and I still will not be cool with him." Okay?
I don't blame you. Not one bit.
I cannot condone what he has done, not just to me, but to the other people that he's hurt, and I will never, ever be okay with that. But if you want to get me off of your tail, you want to get me off of you want to get, then call your people off, make a statement, and be honest and say what you did, sir. Tell them, you know what? Yeah, I did make that statement. It was aimed at Josh Turner, and I apologize. And you don't have to give me no fake condolences about my mom dying, because if you really cared, you would have already given your condolences about that, because you didn't care. You just cared about starting a fight, and
Exactly.
you did start it. So, that's what you need to do. You need to get on there, be a man, and say, hey, I'm sorry for this. I shouldn't have done this. And folks, I was wrong. I never should have attacked this guy the way I did. My condolences to him and his family for the mom dying and whatever, and then move on. And then don't ever talk to me again. And I will take your name out of my mouth, and you do what you got to do, and you quit talking about us, and quit riling up your ridiculous people. They're a bunch of sycophants, or they're just a bunch of insane people who have nothing better to do. And these fence-sitting people, get out of here, because you're nothing but backbiters. You're going to turn on me the first chance you get, sitting there acting like, I don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on? Then go catch up.
Right.
Read his comment, obviously. Read the stuff that I've said and that other people are saying. You don't know what's going on. How could you not know what's going on? Everybody and their dog is fighting right now, and you don't know what's going on. It's like World War II's happening, and you're like, oh, there's a war? Who? Somebody bombed a harbor? Give me a break, dude. Where have you been living?
Yeah, he knows what's going on. He drew the line in the sand. That's what he did.
Mm-hmm.
One thing
And he's going to expect his subs and fans to fight it for him.
Mm-hmm.
One thing a lot
That's
of
exactly what his plan was.
these trolls, or whatever you want to call them, have in common is they're either like faithless, like secular atheist people, or they're into some sort of witchcraft, paganism, like whatever, any kind of like dark magic practicing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's no coincidence.
Yeah, I looked at some of them. One of them, she makes like, she was just all over, "Oh, I love you, Vic." She basically was saying she worshiped him. I mean, without even saying it. I'm not kidding.
Oh,
You
of
look at
course.
her Facebook, she makes Christmas wreaths that are shaped like pentagrams. I was showing Barton that. I was like, check it out. This is crazy. This is what these people do. This is what these people do. And they're like, oh, Vic has had problems with anybody. You want me to make a list? We could go down the list. Dark Waters, Lon Strickler, Butch Wiskowski, me. And I don't want to put the name out there or whatever, but there's a whole bunch of people that don't like him. I mean, I can tell you right now, somebody said the other day, Jody Cook and him are probably conspiring to mess with Roger. That's not what Roger believes. Roger believes it's Vic. And Jody doesn't even like Vic, and they would never conspire because Jody can't stand him, because nobody does, Vic. Nobody likes you. Why did you have so many enemies? You told me your list of enemies. Linda Godfrey was near the top. Never could understand that, because I had long conversations with Linda Godfrey, and she was the nicest person that I ever talked to. So how could you have a problem with her? And when I talked to Dark Waters, sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
I think it's funny they call Vic the godfather of the Dogman thing. What did he really do to earn that title? I mean, the godmother is Linda Godfrey. We all know that.
That's right. There's no godfather. Let me tell you something. You're his guest, right? Okay. Hey, Ryan. It's good to have you on the show. And I can't imagine what. Wait. Let me get it right here. Hold on. I can edit that part out. That must have been horrible. I mean, you've carved out quite a nice life for yourself, or something like that. Anyway, I'll edit it later. Just go ahead and start talking. Then he mutes his mic and goes and takes a dump, and he makes a bologna sandwich, comes back. Oh, I can't imagine what that must have been like, Yeah, it was pretty horrible. Yeah, well, I hope it doesn't happen again. Let's just stay out of the woods, and remember, Dogman won't hurt you. Good night, folks.
Yeah, the weird way he talks. That's just, it gets on my nerves.
That's his whole show right there. I just did a whole show. You don't even have to watch a show now. You've heard everything he ever says. It's all just a scripted bunch of crap. If you go back and you listen to my episodes on his show, okay, there's many times where I'm like, yeah, right, Vic, and he doesn't respond. You know why he didn't respond? Because he was off taking the dump. That's why he didn't respond. That's why. I mean, you want to know the truth? Let's be honest. I don't care right now at this point in my life if the show, if I lose my show, I lose the fun. I don't give a crap. I don't really care if I ever even talk on the air again.
Right.
But the truth will be told, because I have a career, okay? I can go and I can do a whole lot of other stuff. I have another job that I do, and I have a whole lot of other business ventures that I do. I can do a lot of promoting, and I can go back into the club business if I want to. I have a lot of offers to do all kinds of stuff. My security business, whatever I want to do, because I'm not a one-trick pony. I can do all kinds of stuff. Okay? He doesn't have anything like that. Okay, I could fall back out of this, and I could just promote you, Ryan, and you're strong enough. You could probably go off and just become another pocket, and you'll pass him up in no time because you have skills. He doesn't. He just gets on there and goes, I can't imagine what that must have been like. I can't. That's so bad. I mean, anybody can do that. How do you look at this guy and say, "Oh, he's so awesome, and he gets the truest accounts on there"? Blah blah blah. He coaches people. The people from episode 56. I'm sorry, I hate to call you, but they got in touch with me. Episode 56, folks. Okay. And if you're listening, get back in touch with me, and you can come on my show, and we can do it correctly. That 56 was was episode after 55, which was my show. Okay, the first one I was ever on with him. They got in touch with me, the episode 56 people, and he told them what to say, how to say it. It changed their names and gave them aliases and everything. This is what he does. Not with everybody, because he doesn't keep it the same all. If he thinks you can know a little bit about what he'll let you go. Mm-hmm. But he coached me the first time I was on there. He very much coached me, and even cut a little bit out. Like he thought, well, let's go, and I thought, okay, never set right with me. And eventually I told him when I came back on later on, I was like, look, I'm just let me talk. I know what I'm, doing. I don't need you to direct me and beforehand and tell me what to say. We don't need to do a pre-interview. I've been on the show so many times. I know what I'm doing. I don't need you to, dude, that guy, he needs to be completely and 100% run out of this business and shunned from doing anything in this business at all. I'll take it a step further than what Dark Waters is talking about. Dark Waters is like, hey, eventually we can talk, whatever. I don't want to talk to this guy.
No, I don't blame you.
I already tried reaching out to him and told him to give an apology. All that's going to do is silence me into like, okay, you admitted what you did. I'm vindicated. I'm done. I got nothing else to say. I'm done. No more. Mm-hmm. Folks, you want to hear what Vic admitted what he did? He said he was sorry. Take it for what it is. You want to deal with him, deal with him. If you don't, you don't. Okay? That's it. But if that doesn't happen, then you're never going to be okay with me. And your little army of trolls, I know they're never going to quit, and I don't care. Mm-hmm. The person on the Reddit said that I was saying in one breath saying something about, oh, I'm going to quit, and then that breath saying, no, the trolls are making me stay. That's true. What are you trying to say? That's a contradiction? Because it's not. Because I was saying, look, I want to quit. But part of me wants to stay just because of all their nonsense, just to make them mad, just to keep them angry. Because when people tell you, oh, we hope you die, your pets die, and all this other nonsense that's going on, and you just keep blocking people, just going on, and you just erase all the messages. People got my phone number now. Obviously, I'm getting texts. When you don't want to give these people power, and then because that's what they want, but by the same token, it has to be said what they're doing. Mm-hmm. But I'm also not going to let them run me out of this field under that, for that. I'm going to be quitting. I'm going to quit on my own time, and why I quit will be because I'm tired and ready to go, not because of all this.
Agreed.
But if people want me to move forward and start doing shows again, there has to be a pushback. We cannot just sit here and on our hands and go, well, I just need you to just let it go and just hope everything works itself out. Because that's how, what playground were you brought up on, dude? When the bullies beat me up on the playground, I kept getting back up. And eventually, I remember one time there was a kid, his name was Darren. I'm not going to say his last name because, who knows, you'd say something bad about the guy. Last name Darren, first name Darren, was always beating me up. I had a buddy named Jerry was always with him. Jerry wouldn't do much. He wasn't real tough. He just would hold my arms while the guy would beat me up or whatever, or vice versa, But it was mainly Darren. So one day when Darren was coming down the slide, I ran over to the slide and I punched him in the stomach as hard as I could on his way down, and he vomited. Okay? Needless to say, Darren never messed with me again. He would threaten me, and then we would kind of act like we were going to fight, and he was so much bigger than me, and I was hoping to God that we didn't fight, but he left me alone. But that's what you got to do. You got to punch back, okay? When you're fighting the big gorilla, as Jimmy Johnson, the coach of the Cowboys, said, you don't ever hit him lightly. You hit him with everything you got. And this guy is the big gorilla. He's got 80,000 listeners, dude. He's a big beast, and he's got an army, dude. And I am trying to stand here holding up this torch I'm trying to be a beacon of light to try to stand against this giant, this monster, and telling everybody we gotta stand against this dude because he is an absolute cancer poison to this freaking community.
I agree.
He has gone way beyond the pale with too many people, and he's got to be stopped. He's sitting there right now probably watching this and laughing because he thinks that, I got my people on this dude. He's all worked up, blah, blah, blah. This was the response he wanted when he said that about my mom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he wanted me to do, so then it could just be over with immediately. The fight's over before it even got started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what he wanted because he wanted me to just go crazy, start going, whatever, and he goaded Dark Waters, and he told me himself, he's like, yeah, Dark Waters giving me publicity. I'm getting views and people are coming to my show because of Dark Waters and blah blah blah. He thought that was hilarious. He thought that was great. He just kept bragging about that. But the thing is, once you fought all these different people and have gone against all these different people, okay, and then they all kind of get together and compare notes. Well, guess what, boy? You're kind of the problem, okay? And and people say, oh, Josh Turner's had problems with all these people. No, not really. I had a problem with your former co-host, which you know why. I mean,
oh yeah, I have problems with it too.
Yeah,
so.
and Marvin and him were, they were buddies, and then Vic supported all that. So it all kind of goes back to The Godfather. It's all kind of his show, his deal.
Guilty by association. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it really is just him and his crap. I mean, so, if you want to go and look at like, who's the problem? I was fighting his proxies. His proxies and didn't even realize it. And now I'm over here like, this is the guy. He's the problem. You were not my friend. You made me believe you were my friend and you thought you could talk crap to me and I would go, oh, okay, and I'd be cool with it. Well, guess what? You attacked me at my most vulnerable time when my mom had died. And so I went on the air and cried like a baby, which I'm still a little embarrassed of. I'm not going to lie. I'm embarrassed of that. But I know all the things that you've said, Vic. I know all the things that you've done and all the horrible things and all your little bull crap and, the things you've said about people and all the things you've done and all the bad advice you gave us, in the early days. To see, I have a lot of people in my circle, and a lot of them heard the things you said, and they are all willing to sign affidavits that they heard what you said. So if this ever comes out and goes any further, there's going to be a buttload of people who can attest to what you said. There's no denying it. You can't, unless you try to record, you edited it and change it. That's the only thing you can do. That's the only thing you can do, Vic. You got nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. You can just keep on with the lie. Keep riding that boat down the river and hope all your hot pockets defend you. But if they have any sense at all, okay, eventually they're going to start to fall away. Because not only is your show subpar and filled with baseless, just garbage, it's just lies, a bunch of bullcrap, you'll put anybody on there. Not only will people start to see the truth, okay, you're going to lose all your support. And even if I'm destroyed in the process, I don't care. I'm willing to sacrifice my show, everything, just to make sure that you go down, because you are the biggest fraud in this community.
So, just want to acknowledge a few things real quick. We got a few super chats in the meantime from our supporters. Got a $10 from Gail Drake saying blessings to you and your family. Thank you for that very much. Have another $10 super chat from Grace Lilly.
Thank you.
Sending you love from OZ. As for those silly old hags who send negative, ill intent to an innocent family, they will come back on you tenfold. Another $3 donation from the Roxy Starscream. And another $10 donation from Orca Rebuild. I swear Vic is the YouTuber Steve 1989. I'd bet my boat on it.
Yeah. Well, these MREs are fun to eat. Yeah, you just eat these MREs and let's just open them up and go. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's him. It sounds like him. I mean, I don't want to attack Steve because I don't know anything about him. It's probably maybe him, may not be.
They sound similar.
They sound similar, but it's probably not him.
Yeah, I don't
In fact,
know.
I'm almost pretty sure it's not, but they do sound similar. And I don't want to attack Steve because he doesn't seem like a bad guy. He just likes to eat MREs. Roxy Starscream, I believe is that Starscream?
I don't know.
I don't know if that's our Starscream. Orca Rebuild, that's a pretty cool nickname. Grace Lily, thank you. Gail, Drake, I appreciate all the donations, everything. But the bottom line is this. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to try to clear my head and get everything, I'm sure once he starts getting hit in the pocketbook again, he'll probably make another stupid post. And imagine my surprise when I found out that somebody said that I said a bunch of horrible things about other people. Oh, I can't believe y'all would believe that. Oh, shame on you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, shut up, dude.
Yeah, Starscream responded. That is our.
Okay, hey Starscream, I appreciate it. Starscream is one of my guys from the old days. Starscream may not want me telling this story, but
good name.
Squid. I think Squid's the first one to call him that. Him and Willie started calling him because we used to call Willie Soundwave because Willie he was quiet and he just he did he's just a very good right hand guy. But whenever I would go home early, or one day I went home sick because I had a bad toothache. Really good teeth. Never had a cavity, but had a wisdom tooth that had to get pulled. It was pretty bad, and so it was kind of acting up. And so I had to go home early. And Starscream, that's not his real name, but I'm not going to give his real name because in case people start attacking him. But he's like, I'm in charge now. Everybody do what I say. And then it became kind of a recurring theme. So when I wasn't around, he kind of took control. And so everybody started calling him Starscream. And I believe Squid, you started that. So, yeah, and that name just kind of stuck. Well, when he came to visit recently, let me tell you something. When my mother passed, Starscream came down from Dallas, and he stayed with us from the Tuesday after my mom died, all the way until Sunday. He took time off from his job, and he's a very, very computer guy now. Amazing, big, strong, tough guy like him having a computer job, but he's very smart. And he came down and he stayed with us for the entire week. And am I lying, Anthony?
No, and he did a whole lot of driving.
He did. He absolutely did. My wife was just like, she goes, you have some of the best friends. And my wife loves you, Ryan. She loves me, you, and her talk. And then Barton Nunley and Letitia, they'll get on there and we'll talk. I was talking to Barton yesterday before the event. I needed to get some sleep, but Barton had called me, so I called him back, and we started talking. Ended up 3 hours on the phone, just talking about all kinds of stuff. And then my business partner, who's in his late 60s, and but he's funny as heck. And I got on the phone with him afterwards and talked to him for like an hour, But I can talk to these people forever. It's just fun to talk to, and I have a lot of good family, a lot of good people, a lot of very supportive people. The PRT family is strong. We've kind of, I've gotten some listeners over from DW and them that I wouldn't have had before because of my association with Voldemort. Oh, I mean Vic. So yeah. So basically, just kind of had to, absorb a bunch of people that came into our group, and stuff, and we've kind of started to unite with a lot of other people that are like, hey, you know what? We never dealt with you because of him, and so it's opened up a lot of doors, that were closed before. And I was given advice by a few big names in this business, and told me, you need to really cut your association with that guy. And like a fool, I was loyal to him. I was loyal to him for like 6 years, folks.
He was your friend.
Yeah, I thought he was. Mm-hmm. And I overlooked and ignored all the bad stuff about this guy. And Anthony can attest to that. We got tons of bad stuff about him. We ignored it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's like me with my former co-host. I heard a lot of bad stuff, and I ignored it.
And you ignored it, but you were so loyal in the way that we became friends. I'll mind everybody who's heard it, but I'll say it if people who haven't. You came at me sideways. You came at me and you were like, don't you talk about my friend, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, whoa, dude. All right, look, I'm going to let you make up your own mind. And I gave you months. I said, you kept staying friends with them. And I kept pointing it out and saying, look, dude, do you see this? Okay. Just pay attention. You'll see it. Eventually you make up your own mind. Once it, and sure enough, eventually you had to make a decision. It's like, dude, do I keep supporting someone who's stabbing me in the back every time I turn around, who's against me, who's really against you? Or do I, you know, and it's a tough choice to make, and especially in your position, Ryan. I respect the heck out of you because you defended somebody who you thought was your friend, and you defended him tooth and nail. And I saw loyalty in you, and I thought that guy is somebody that I need to align myself with because he will back you up through thick and thin.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I made the right choice. I
Mm-hmm.
did,
and I kept my word to you too. And I said, anything you need, you call me, I'll help you.
Absolutely.
I'll be there for you. And I've had people tell me, like Wes Vick, he's with Dark Waters, and I said I'm talking to him a little bit on Messenger, and he says, dude, Dark Waters, if I need him, I can call him anytime. He's there. I don't know anybody who can do that with Vic. The only person I knew that could do that with Vic was me. I mean, most people, he would just blow them off. If he had nothing to gain from you, that's it. But then I realized, I had my brother tell me, he goes, think about it. He has something to gain from you because you get some good stories. And my brother has actually been there, and well, Anthony too. And we've had dinner and we've sat and ate with people, and they've been across the table from us and gave us a great story. And I remember the last time that happened, and my brother goes, don't you dare take that to Vic. He was just like, don't you go to Vic with that story. And of course, when we went and ate at the Texican, Anthony, the most recent one, and then he gave us that story. I actually just talked to him yesterday on Messenger, and we were getting in the car, and then Nellie goes, don't go to Vic with that one. She's like, do not go to Vic with that one. And I was like, okay. So and then everybody was slowly kind of telling me, please don't deal with him, And I understand where your mind was at, Ryan, because I'm sitting there going like, I like the guy. I think he's my friend. And then everybody's going like, he's not your friend.
Yeah. Once you see that proof, though, it's like me with my former co-host. You see the proof right in front of you, and you're kind of going, oh my God, how did I not see this before? And you feel stupid for it.
Yeah. You feel stupid. You feel so stupid. And then when he did that thing with Marvin, you were just like, we talked about it and we kept trying to wrap our minds around it. And I kept thinking, well, maybe there's a reason, and you were just like, dude, okay. You kind of lectured me, Ryan, and you were like, you're being like I was with my former co-host. And I'm like, yes, you're right. I have to accept it, So I made the decision, a conscious decision, which I think was the correct one. And I said, I'm never going to deal with a guy again. I'm not going to go on his show. Yep. And for that, I got attacked on the day my mom died. And everybody's sitting there telling me that I should just move on and whatever. I'm not going to move on until his trolls back off and they move on. Go on with your lives, okay?
Well, he's going to have to step up and tell them to back off, Josh.
And until he does, it's going to keep happening.
Yep. They're not going to stop until Vic says stop.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
And even when he does, he says it like, oh, well, don't lash out at him. Why would you make that post when you knew what the result was going to be? I don't need no vagary. Don't do no vagary, Mr.
The passive aggression, again, is just that's one thing I can't abide by. That's just that sneaky, underhanded little. No.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Anthony.
I mean, stab me in the face before you stab me in the back.
Yeah, honestly, if he had a problem with Josh, he should have come to him man to man and said, you know what, this is my problem with you. This is why I have this problem, and settled it between the two of them. Not gone to the public like that. That's sickening.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I don't want this guy to go unnoticed. The Orca Rebuild gave us another $10 donation. He said, thanks, Josh. I'm rebuilding the Orca from Jaws. I'd love to have you over in Alabama sometime to see it. If we ever do go to Alabama, it's definitely not going to be around this time of year.
Yeah, no, but yeah, that's, yeah. And the open invitation to Vincent Richardson also was talking about looking for a job. You come down here, I'll give you a job, couple jobs. You too, Ryan. Now, Ryan, I know that you don't have to work, Ryan. You can just help us with the show, and we can build it.
Hey, there you go.
That's all you got to do. I know you got obligations there in Arizona. And you take care of your mama, and you do what you got to do. But down the road, things change, and you're out there. You want to change. You want to move. You just let me know, and you'll be over here with us, and we'll build something great together. PRT family, we're going to build this together. We're going to do this together, and you're all going to be able to say, "Hey, I was there when it happened." We're going to move forward. One of the advice that I was given by two different people, one of them Barton Nunley, and the other one Dark Waters. They both said, keep doing what you do.
Yep.
Weather the storm. And eventually you'll blow past Vic and there won't even be anything. He'll be in your rearview mirror.
Absolutely.
And they both said it in different words, but pretty much the same thing. You know,
No, they're
Dark
correct.
Waters even said that at some point I would eclipse him, and I told him, I said, I'm not trying to eclipse anybody. I'm just trying to be me and do whatever I'm trying to do. But I thought it was very kind words coming from him to say that, you know. And like I said, until this thing happened right here, he never said anything to me about Vic. He knew that we were friends, and he never infringed upon that. Like, he never said a bunch of crap. Except for the one time I asked that man if him and Vic could have any kind of reconciliation. And I had this foolish idea that maybe I could get them to. Little did I know what kind of snake I was dealing with in Vic. I had no freaking clue just how the depths. And I take that back. I can't sit up here and lie to you. I'm going to tell you the truth. I did know, because there were many, many, many people who had said things, but I had those like blinders on, you know. And like Ryan, you know, it's good to have you on the show right now because you know what that's like. You did the same thing. And it's like, I could see that when it was happening to you, but I couldn't see it when it was happening to me. It's like you can see it in others. You can see the flaw, but you can't see it yourself. It's just like so frustrating. It's like a human trait that we have.
Mm-hmm. We put blinders on. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to think our friends would do that to us, or people that we consider friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so when we get the proof that we need, it hurts like hell. And that's what you're going through right now too.
Yeah.
That sucks, Josh. It really does. I've been there, and it hurts terribly.
Yeah. And then when you come to the realization of who these people are and what you're dealing with and what the I don't know, what'd you say, sociopathy? What is the word you were talking about, Anthony, earlier?
Said it's like there are different signs of like a narcissistic personality and like symptoms of sociopathy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I
It's
just
sad. It's a sad case, man.
Yeah, it is. It very much reminds me of someone that I'm related to. Unfortunately, very closely related to. He's that kind of person. I mean, it's like he don't care.
Brian Clove, thank you for your $10 donation. Saying late to the party. Much love to y'all.
Brian, always a pleasure. I'm gonna give y'all a little something here, guys. I'm gonna change direction for a second and give you a little creepy story.
All right, I got to split, Josh. I got to go check on the moms.
Mm-hmm. Ryan,
So,
always a pleasure.
all right, a pleasure, guys. Anthony, take it easy. Josh, you take it easy too, bro.
We'll talk later,
Appreciate
Ryan.
you, Ryan. Have a good one.
All right, take it easy, everybody. Have a great night.
You too.
Bye.
Everybody that's still here, that's stuck around, I'm gonna give you a little story. Me and Anthony were talking about the other day. I told the story. We're gonna just stop talking about by Baltimore and just move forward for a minute here. I did a show. I don't know what episode it was. It was recent. It was probably the last two we did, I think, was with Richard. And he himself was a victim of one of these people that we were talking about earlier, not telling their story correctly. But he came on the show. Before that, I think it was the Friday shows right before that. It was called the Haunted Tower. Was it the Haunted Tower?
Yeah, it's called the Haunted Tower.
Let me take these off. On that show, on the Haunted Tower, I talk about a building that I worked at that was had a lot of paranormal activity going on. So the other night, I was talking to a guy that I used to work security with. I hadn't talked to him in years, and it was real brief. And we were on Facebook, whatever. And hey, it's good to hear from you. Blah blah blah. Yeah, cool. You know, I'm working, doing this and that. Had got a hold of him, kind of reached out to him to see what he was doing because I'm shorthanded for people, and I was needing somebody to help with the event. Real quickly, can you run and get my tailor hat, because I told him I would wear it on the show.
It's in the truck.
Yeah, it's in the truck. I need to keep my commitment to my obligation to them. So, and it's good because my hair's all messed up. So there was a guy that I was talking to, and then we started talking about another individual that used to work with us, and so I had to call Scorpion and ask him if he remembers this place we worked at and the guy that used to do the patrol there. Well, it was on the same block as that haunted building. And here's some weird stuff. They've tore down that old building that was on the same block as that haunted tower. They tore it down. And there was well, I don't want to say the name of it because then y'all probably be able to find the building, but there was a little bar and grill that was right there in the parking lot, right next to it. And this was downtown in Austin. And that bar and grill was notoriously haunted. They had a lot of weird stuff that went on there. There was a bartender that I used to go in there. It was hot as heck one summer. And I was working every day, and I was just exhausted. I was doing a bodyguard job out at Steiner. And then I was working 2 or 3 days a week there. And Scorpion was working the opposite days, and then me and Squid and Diablo were going out and working at this place out by the lake, bodyguard, and this woman who her ex-husband literally broke in through the back door. Okay, and we had to fight with him. It was crazy, but a bunch of really weird, violent things went on in that block, and I think that whatever's there in that tower, it emanates all around that whole block, that whole area, because there was a lot of weird paranormal stuff that went on there. So I was reminded of an incident, fulfilling my obligation to Taylor Sporting Goods. They sponsored me. I told them that I would wear this hat. So that's what I'm doing, and it's perfect time because my hair looks like crap. Taylor Sporting Goods is located on Main Street in Taylor, Texas. They do a really good job. See, Taylor Sporting Goods. I used to make all of our baseball jerseys and stuff. So, and it's green because Taylor colors are green. We were the Ducks. Let's see if I can get this right. Yeah. There we go. So anyway, I started talking to my wife, and I said, some of the things that we talked about in the haunted tower, I should have brought up some of the stuff that was going on in the surrounding area because it was kind of connected. But I was going to save that for another episode. But now that we're on the show, I might as well talk about it. There were some weird things that went on there. The people at that bar and grill, it was about, I'd say there was like a block, and then there was like a parking lot, and then there was their bar and grill, then there was another parking lot, and then there was the building that I was working at. So it was about 2 blocks worth of stuff, and there was a convenience store on the corner there that was like connected, and it was all haunted. And I don't mean haunted like, like a little bit of stuff here and there. There was some weird stuff that would go on. And one of the things that happened to me, I was sitting there in my truck one night waiting to get off. It was about 5:45 in the morning on the corner. And I was almost to the alley. And if you go down the alley, that's where that little pub was. And so there was a guy that would walk by every morning like clockwork. I mean, 5:45, he would walk by, power walking. He was an old guy. He was a really cool dude. Because I talked to him a few times, and he'd like, morning. And every once in a while, he'd stop and talk to me for a few minutes. Then there was another old guy, an old Hispanic guy, who would go across the street every morning, drink his coffee, mostly on the weekdays. The walker, he was there every day, even on the weekend. So this guy, I didn't know him from Adam, but he would always be at the corner when I'm getting ready to leave. I'd do my last round. I'd wave at him. He'd wave at me because, we didn't know each other, but he would be there drinking his coffee. So one morning I'm sitting there waiting to get off, and it felt like something like very heavy, like somebody had dropped like 8 bags of cement in the back of my truck, and it just like went boom, and it was almost like an explosion. It was so loud. The back of my truck, like, and I kind of went down and popped back up, and the guy across the street, he stood up, and he was just like, what the heck? The guy that was walking, he came, walking over to where I was at, and was like, they were both there at the same time. And I got out of the truck, was kind of apprehensive. I walk around the back. I really literally thought it was a homeless person that had climbed up to the top of the building and had jumped off and had landed in the back of my truck. So I was apprehensive. I was like thinking, I'm going to look in the back of this truck and I'm going to see a homeless person laying in the back of my truck dead. So I go over there and I look. These 2 individuals kind of walk over, and I looked at them right before they came up, and I kind of shook my head, and they looked and they saw, oh, there's nothing there. We were all kind of relieved, but we didn't know each other from Adam other than, a couple, 3 months of us seeing each other every morning, not really talking a whole lot, but just, hey, how's it going? Just weird. I mean, it was so weird. Scorpion worked in that building, or at that building. And I like I said, I don't want to say the name of it because then you might figure out where the other one's at, and the other one's still there. They haven't this one's been torn down along with that pub. and the whole thing is being turned into one big. I think it's condos they're building, right?
What is it?
Over there, right there by where that haunted tower is on the corner.
Yeah, it's probably condos.
It's condos, isn't it? So, anyways, all that's gone there. The haunted tower is still there. And I don't want people going over there messing around. They do have security who's probably armed, and I don't want anybody getting something happening, or trying to break in or trying to get in there and investigate. They're pretty. They keep tight security on it. It's known in the security industry as a haunted building, and people who have worked there can attest that it's haunted, but they don't advertise it. Somebody said, well, why isn't that on a ghost show or some other, whatever? Because they're not advertising it, dude. They don't want people knowing that because they won't get clients to stay there. They might get some ghost hunters, but you're not going to get clients that are going to want to be in a building like that. So anyway, that was one of the weird things that happened to me when I was working, and that, whatever that was, it fell in the back of my truck. One of the other weird things that happened to me was I fell asleep. I woke up, and this has happened to me one other time, and it was at the church. And I saw a bunch of people standing around my truck, and when I jumped, they were gone. And I realized I was already off too. I had like overslept. It shift ended at 5. It was like 7 p.m., 5 a.m. And then I would go into that pub every once in a while, and I would talk to the bartender. I knew the owner. The owner was cool. He had a bar downtown, a really nice guy. And I would get ice. I would just get ice, and they would let me get drinks, sodas, whatever I asked. If I wanted a beer, they'd give it to me, but I didn't drink on the job. But I'd go in there and they'd always say, you want a beer? I'm like, no, I'm good. And it was like a ritual. They'd give me a cup of ice or soda or whatever. Sometimes they'd even, give me food. If I had the money, I always like to pay. I don't like to get things for free because I don't feel like it's right. They gave me this hat for free, Taylor Sporting Goods, and I've been meaning to wear it to promote, so I said, okay, I'll wear it, But yeah, so anyway, I don't like getting free things. If you have the money, pay for it. People are trying to run a business, trying to make money. They're not trying to give away everything. I don't like that. So they'd always give me like ice and soda and stuff like that. Stuff that was cheap, I didn't mind taking. But if I ever wanted a sandwich or something, I'd pay for it. So anyway, I'd go in there, and one day I started talking to the girl that worked there, and she was telling me some crazy stuff. Like one day, she was hanging the glasses up, and one of the glasses literally, like, she turned around and it was just sitting perfectly upside down on the bar. And she's like, that's weird. She's like, she goes to grab the glass, and the glass moved to the end of the bar. Okay. And she told me that, and while she tells me that, one of the doors to the utility closet slammed, and we both looked at each other, and it was just me and her in the bar. And the owner had just stepped outside with the door guy. They were getting ready for the night, and I was getting ready for my night, of course. And believe it or not, my night was kind of busy too, because there was a lot of homeless people in that area, and they were always trying to break into that building, and they were always trying to climb up to the freaking roof for whatever reason through the fire escape, go sleep up there. So I had to sit there. I had to be very vigilant. It was a very heavily populated area of homeless people. So they were getting ready for their night, and so I said, well, I'm getting ready for mine. I got to go. And I left, and one night they said that they were getting ready to close, and the same trick happened. Glass was on the counter, except it was a waitress. She goes to grab the glass, and the glass moves and hits the wall and breaks. It was like brick. And so we were standing around talking about it one night. And the patrol guy that I had talked to recently that had brought up his friend that used to be the patrol captain there for that company, and I still work with and do business with one of his old partners. So anyway, we went in and we swept the building one night that I was working at, and we heard something like kind of skitter towards us. Now, imagine like a really, really large rat the size of a human being, with the nails and all that. That's what it sounded like. And I'm not kidding. We were all armed back then, it was a long time ago. And these guys, they pulled their guns out, and everybody was scared. And I said, okay, we need to really stick together, because I don't want to be in one room and you be in another and you shoot me, But whatever it was came running toward us, and we didn't see a thing. And we had these high-powered flashlights, didn't see anything. So I was like, okay, you guys got this. And I walked out of the building, and I let them continue to sweep the building. I don't care. You can call me whatever. I didn't want to mess with whatever was in there. And I never went back in that building by myself ever. and neither did Scorpion or any of the other guys that we worked with. Well, there was a guy named Rusty we used to work with, and that was one of the guys I was talking about recently because we were talking about my friend John Kelly that died, and I talked to his brother Tommy today. But anyway, Rusty was his John's wife was his cousin or something like that. Anyway, we were all standing outside one night, and we were in the shadow of that building, the haunted tower. And we were all outside of that pub, which was also a haunted spot. I think the whole area is just something wrong with it. It's just haunted. And there's also a restaurant right across the street that's very famous, and it's known for being haunted. And so we were sitting there, and they were outside, and one of the guys that worked there was cleaning out the trash cans. And we all just kind of at the same time looked up, and we looked at the tower, and the entire 11th floor, it was about 3 a.m. because the bar had closed, And I was with the patrol guy, and we had gone over there and he wanted to get something to drink. And we were standing there, and all the windows in the 11th floor were lit up. I kid you not, man. All the other the lights in all the rest of the building were off. And we see like what looks like a shadow running like a shadow, like running across the windows from spot to spot, from front, just like from one side to the other, front to back. And in order to do that, you would have had to go in between each room or maybe go through the wall. And we heard what sounded like a woman screaming mixed with the screech of a bird. So that was a crazy story. And I just, was talking to my wife about it the other day. And she's like, yeah, you should talk about that, because it didn't happen at the tower. And so I wanted to talk about it and put it on an episode. But it wasn't really like enough, to make an episode. So I figured, if I'm going to come on tonight and do a live stream and rant and rave about this crap that's going on, I'm going to give you something there. And so there's that story right there. And there's a couple of things that happened. There was a tree. It was like a lawyer's office right across the street, and in a big old house. It looks like an old plantation house. And there was a lawyer's office there. And I swear that branch on the tree, every once in a while, just one branch would go down and then flop back up like that. In Scorpion, you can ask him, Gary Lopez, he's a good friend of mine, and he's always on my Facebook. You can go and you can literally ask him about that tree. He'll tell you. That tree would literally do that. And then we would see, because there was a little apartment building right there behind that building, which is no longer there anymore. And you would see a guy come walking out with what looked like a trumpet case. You used to play trumpet, Anthony, how the little case looks.
Yeah.
And so he would walk. He had like a purple and like purplish blue or something like silver, like a Letterman jacket. And he would come out and he'd go around the corner. And once or twice I thought I saw somebody, and I look and they'd be gone. And one time for sure I saw him dead on and went straight through the wall. And I was sitting there in my truck, and I was just like, and this was years after I'd worked at that haunted building. In fact, I think it was about 9 years after that, or maybe 8 to 10 years. I don't know how long it was. Anyway, it was a long time after that. So I always thought about that, being in the shadow of that building, and you're there. And, and what is the connection? I don't know. Once I saw a dog jump. There was like this little, like, the building's not there anymore, so I can't take a picture of that part of it and show you because it's hard to explain. But there was like this little, not a ditch because it was cemented in, but it was like this little drop off that made no sense. I don't even know what it was there for. But I thought I saw this dog go and jump, and I thought, oh, dude, that dog just landed down in that cement ditch. So I walked over and I looked, and it wasn't. There was nothing there. So I started comparing notes to the other guards, Scorpion and the other guy that worked there. And they started telling me, that they had seen the same thing. Scorpion claimed to have seen the dog go right through the wall, the same spot where the guy would disappear. Then I was talking to this lady, and she said, yeah, that used to be closed off. That was all, like a grate. There was a grate over that, and there was like a walkway right there. So I don't know if we were seeing something that had happened from the past or if it was just a ghost. I don't know what it was. Had another weird incident where somebody knocked on my window while I was looking down doing my report, and I was like writing. And I look up and there's nobody there, and I'm like, whoa. Because I was all like, hold on, and I turn because I thought I heard like woman's heels walking toward me, just weird stuff like that, But yeah, that all happened right there in the shadow of that building, And so I just thought I'd throw that out there, and yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to give you something, to go by, because I didn't want to bring you on a Sunday evening and me and Ryan ranting about this situation with these fools, and then not give you something to chew on paranormal wise, because this is a paranormal show and you do come for the show. And like Anthony said tonight, I think he said it best. He's like, we have a hard time. Or do you want to reiterate what you said?
Which part of what I said?
Well, you had said something about people wanting us to do the show, but it's hard to do.
Yeah. Like if you're someone saying, just move on and just get back to the show, you really need to think about what you're asking, because you're not really speaking from a place of experience, because if you've never made content like a podcast or content creation on YouTube, then you don't really know what it's like and how much effort it takes, and how much energy that you have to expend on delivering a quality product. So in order to do that, you have to be in the right place mentally and emotionally. And obviously with all this stuff going on right now, we're not at 100%. So if what you're asking for is for us to deliver a product that's going to be subpar, and we owe it to y'all. Like, y'all deserve better than that, is what I'm trying to say. Because y'all have been so good to us, that y'all are our supporters. All of the equipment that we're using for this live chat right now, y'all bought it. Y'all, it's bought and paid for because of all the support we get from y'all, from the Patreon, from all your super chats, from the ad revenue, from the merchandise, from the PayPal donations. We owe y'all a lot. So, if you're saying just move on and just get back to the show, you're doing yourself and your fellow listeners a disservice, or we would be doing y'all a disservice by trying to just get back to the show right now. People need time to heal. People need time to get back to where they need to be. So yeah, that's that. And like I said, if you haven't made content before, then you really don't know what it's like. And if you've never been attacked in the public eye, being attacked before, again, you don't know what it's like. So you need to think about what you say before you say it. Like I said, the good Lord saw fit to bless you with a brain, so you owe it to Him and yourself to actually use it before you open your mouth.
Yeah. I'm loving this chair, by the way.
Yeah.
Thanks for putting it together. Got a chair the other day, and it was a really nice chair. Yeah, and it's like any other business. I can go to work with my security business, and I can be just fine. I can go to work and I can just sit there and process my thoughts and just do my job robotically and not have to think about a lot of things. But this business, this is not one of the things that you can do that with. You cannot just sit here and just tell stories and put your heart and soul into everything that you're doing and saying if you got something else on your mind. That's why, when my mom died, I needed time to process and grieve. And I came out and I did the show because I was told that I needed to come out and speak out about what was being said. Now, I do want to clear the air about one thing, and I told Johnny Henderson this yesterday. Johnny Henderson and Elijah Henderson don't want their mother's death to be linked to any kind of government giving her cancer. All that was said about that was that Vic had used that, had said, hey, the government can make your wife's cancer be accelerated if you interview this guy. And then on the other hand, he was going and trying to talk to this guy who is Roger. Roger has come out and publicly said that he has now officially come out and said that he believes that the people that are behind his harassment, it's Vic. That's what he says. That's what he has said. He said it on this chat, in the comments. He said it twice. I got the text he sent me. And so, there's that. So you can take it for what it's worth. You can say, hey, this guy, somebody had said on Reddit or whatever that there was unsubstantiated, that I had claimed that Roger said. Well, he just did. Okay. He goes under the handle of Tyler Freeze. He's being harassed. This is not surprising to me because this is kind of the MO. This is what happens to everybody who does anything that makes this guy mad. Okay. He's not a person that comes out and does like me and Dark Waters, comes out and just says something about, you, and just comes out and tells you, hey man, you're a POS, whatever. That's funny. Somebody just said that because he's a POS. Yeah. No, he's not going to do that. He doesn't call you to the floor like that. He makes posts. He leaves them up for a while, and then he allows his listeners to get all riled up. When he took that post down about my mom's death, or the one that he made on the day of my mom's death, he took it down, and a bunch of people called him out and said, yeah, that's what he does. He makes a post, and he leaves it up for a while, gets everybody riled up, then he takes it down. This last one he made, on the Dogman Encounters group page, he left it up. And he's predictable too. He left it up because everybody was calling him to the floor about taking the other ones down. So then he left that one up. The funny thing is, DW had come out and said that this is what this guy was going to do. I mean, he called it all to a T, didn't he, Anthony?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He said it. He said, this is exactly what he's going to do. He's going to spin the narrative, twist the narrative, and he goes, and now Josh Turner is going to become the bad guy, and he's going to be the victim, and he's going to play the victim card, and everybody's going to be like, oh, this poor guy, blah, 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 blah. That's exactly what happened. He's got his little troll army on Reddit, the beef between Josh Turner and Vic Cundiff, and it is being spun. Now they've seized control of the narrative, and they're coming out and they're saying that it's all me. It's my fault. Everything, and then they oversimplified the podcast that I made with the Hendersons and with Barton Nunley, and trying to say that nothing. We had nothing really important to say. That we were just whining and ranting and raving about poor Vic. And that nothing we said could be substantiated, and that basically he was just, I'm just a crazy, guy saying a bunch of horrible things. And they broke it down too in this real long, I don't know. It's crazy, dude. I mean, it's just crazy. But it's real manipulative. It's real clever, and he's got a lot of people who just absolutely just support him, and just yeah. And this person starts off with, it seems a lot of people shared my confusion over what had transpired between these guys, so I thought I'd take it for the team and settle into 4 hours of Josh claiming to drop the hammer on Dogman's reigning prince, Vic. Okay. When you go to the Reddit about the beef between me and Vic, the first thing that comes up is this nonsense. Okay. That's the first thing. And then this person, okay, they claim to, it says it's posted by Skillies. /Skillies. Skillies, you're sillies, okay? And you're full of crap because you came on here talking about, oh, I shared the confusion. I was confused. Oh, you were confused? Didn't sound like it. Sound like you came in with your mind made up and you were going to be a good little soldier because you're one of his useful idiots. You're a fool and you're going to do whatever daddy tells you. And so you came in, yikes. 5 minutes in.
Anyone who uses the word yikes, I stop taking them seriously. I'm sorry. If you're older than 10 years old and you say yikes, tummy, or yummy, no.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear what
There's certain words you don't use after you're a toddler, ma'am or sir, baby child, whatever the hell you are. Yikes. 5 minutes in, Josh is complaining about all the trolls commenting, lately singling one out as, quote unquote, an old hag who's on death's doorstep. Very Christian way to open up, Josh. Laugh out loud with the eyes. Okay. Next 45 minutes, Josh threatens to quit the show and not publish his memoirs. And people don't believe the truth that Victor is an evil monster, possibly government agent, greedy hack. Josh says that we're going to hear from a few guests who are chomping at the bit to dish out truth about Vic. Guy, man, you should be. This guy is a very descriptive writer. You. Is he paying you? Because with these kind of skills, these Joseph Goebbels kind of propaganda skills you have, okay, I applaud you, sir. You should be writing. I mean, you should have been working for the Soviet Union or, somebody. It says here, finally, Josh calls Johnny of Cryptid Studies Institute. Johnny asks everyone to pray for Roger, recent witness to come forward about LBL, alluding to some kind of danger. Oh, yeah. Says Barton is added to the call. It doesn't say who Barton is. It could be Barton Springs for all we know, but it's Barton Nunley. Barton is added to the call, and they begin to explain what Roger's been going through. Roger texted them that he's receiving scary anonymous phone calls and feels they're keeping tabs on him. Your condescending tone, too, is basically saying that we're all just full of crap. We're all just crying chicken little. The sky's falling. Roger's been receiving scary phone calls. Yeah. So it says no details given, really. Identity of caller is unknown. That's right. The identity of the callers are unknown, just like the calls probably you and whoever else has been trolling me, been making from 16 different states. I'm probably going to start posting those phone numbers. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start posting all those phone numbers on Facebook and whatever else. I'll talk to my attorney and see what he says about that and if I'm okay with that. And just start posting all the phone numbers and actually just all the troll stuff and then throwing out all y'all's names. Okay? I'm going to start throwing out all your names and just let everybody go on you and you can be attacked now for all your crap. Okay? Because I've been nice up to this point and I haven't called you to the floor and given out your names because I know you, woman, lady, that said you want my pets to die on your Facebook. It's like on there. It's on there like you got everything on there. You're like smiling with your ugly self and whatever. How'd you like if I took a screenshot of that and I put it on Facebook? Let everybody know who you are and where you live and what you said about my pets. If I was a real vicious bad guy, I would do that. And guess what would happen? You'd probably have your yard lit on fire or some other crap, and then it would blow back on me, and then I'd be in trouble. But I don't want to see you hurt because you're just a foolish old person that doesn't know what you're talking about. But at your age, you should know. You should be smart enough to see. You're probably dumb enough to be giving Vic money to pay his light bill. I mean, that's probably what's going on. But when you sit there and talk about you want my pets to die, shame on you. I hope a dog man doesn't eat your dogs. It says here, Roger claims to have approached a driver of an SUV following him, but didn't get any information out of him. Naturally, he didn't turn his phone camera voice recorder on before approaching the SUV. So here we go with this narrative. This person is basically just saying Roger's just a big old poop-a-caca head, don't know what he's talking about. Johnny recounts story from when his wife was ill with cancer. He had called Vic for advice on Roger's LBL testimony, alleging that Vic advised to stay away from Roger for fear of government, that MIB can frame him. MIB. He never says MIB. He never says, what are you talking about? Can frame him and even have ability to make cancer worse. Josh claims his team, he says team, like in quotations, like, I don't have one. Okay? I've told you before, I'm not the Lone Ranger, okay? I have several people who are involved in my doings or whatever that help me with the show. It says, found out that Vic was allegedly, and he uses her, it's probably a her, him, whatever, child, I don't know what you are, moving it slantedly, simultaneously courting Roger to his show while scaring Johnny away from him. Seems it'd be easy for Roger to confirm, deny that. He did. He did on my show, Skillies. Okay? He did. You silly little person, you. Yeah, whatever. Don't make me talk with this outrageous accent. Roger's complaining about being constantly hounded to go on Vic's show, which he was. No info on what this means, by whom. Okay. Johnny complains that he's sick of people saying that his wife died due to the Roger debacle. In my opinion, the only reason for this chatter is due to making the Vic convo public. Okay, whatever. Boy, this person, they loving them some Vic, ain't they? Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. You're loving that him some Vic on there, boy. Good. That kind of soup. Just like Mama used to make, right? You silly person, you. Seems like they're repeatedly but passively suggesting Vic is responsible for Roger's harassment. And you figured it out. You're so smart. You're working. Who are you working for? Are you working for Interpol or Scotland Yard? Are you working for Scotland Yard? Because if so, you've cracked the case. Thank you, Skillies. Everyone listening in at home, they've figured it out. Our evil plot has been destroyed. Wow. It says, Josh hinted some wrongdoing Vic did to Linda Godfrey. I was hinting around. I was like, maybe there's something going on. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, okay. It says here, again, no details offered, just more ad horn. Josh gives a complete revisionist history of Dark Waters, falling out with Vic, while he just gives more vague passive aggression, suggesting that he should have been on Dark Waters' side back then. Folks, at home, I'm going to relive that, actually. I'm going to do this. 40 and I don't know how many years ago, I should have been on the side of DW when the big war happened. I regret it. I really do. I sit at home smoking my cigars and regret. Drinking my stale bourbon. Holding my head in my hands. Why, oh why did I not support DW? I felt terrible. The whole war could have been different if I'd have just been on his side. None of this would have ever happened, and Vic would have been destroyed, and the evil cast into the pit. Along with the ring from the Lord of the Rings, the Gollum was trying to get. Oh my God, folks! Oh, why did I do this? That's pretty much an accurate reenactment of what was being said. Just so you know at home, that's what happened, folks. That's what happened. Moving on. It says here, I actually saw all of that go down, and DW explicitly try to strong-arm Vic. I'll do a reenactment of that one, too. Hey, yo, Vic, this Dark Waters. Fool, you better get out here. I'm about to break you off something, ho. I can't imagine what that's going to be like. I'm so terrified. Please don't hurt me. Please. Oh, my God. I better call my government agent friends. Government agent friends. I'm about to be attacked. Oh, yes. He's big. He's black, and he's scary. Oh, my God. Never fear. Bigfoot on a unicorn came, skewering Dark Waters and casting him back into the pit. Thank goodness we're all safe from the evils that he could have unleashed on this world. Vic, you, sir, are a hero. You and all the people out there, especially the ones in wheelchairs and that are hurting, they're the heroes, just like you. You run for president, I'm voting for you, man. You saved us from the great scare of Dark Waters, spreading terror across the land. I can't even tell you. I sleep better at night knowing that you did what you did. Oh, let me compose myself and do this. I'm feeling verklempt. That's a revisionist history, folks. It says here, I actually saw this go down. Vic, it says he tried to strong arm Vic into censoring an episode where a witness complained about Lance Strickler, another villain, whom Dark Waters was in business with. Probably something bad. I bet you they were selling something like illegal socks or something. I don't know. Anyways, it says here, he didn't expect Vic to respond by just shining light on the email, posting it on Facebook. Vic is so clever. He posted the email on Facebook. Thank goodness for that. Resulting in an outpouring of outrage by Vic's fans. They were righteously angry. Believe me, DW deserved it. Dark Waters remains obsessively butthurt ever since. I'm only halfway, but it's at 30 minutes since any new info was offered. More of Josh complaining about trolls. Trolls. We're fast forwarding through that part. All right. It says here, unable to decide if they're causing him to quit altogether or if he's inspired by enjoying the haters laugh out loud. Complete schizophrenic meltdown on air, right, folks? I couldn't make up my mind. I was like, right? If anyone has insight into what took place between them on Facebook, please add. Skillies, it's not like you really care for them to add. You're just trying to pretend like you're impartial. But let me tell you something, boy, you're not. Boy, you go away, you bother me. I'll update posts if I hear anything substantive added in second half. Then he goes on, he says, Johnny mentions that he recently asked Vic for contact info of one of his guests for something unrelated. Seems odd that he reached out for a favor after, because it big, bulky, whatever, capital letters. The conversation where he thought Vic was exploiting his wife's illness in order to steal exclusive content. What the F? Man. What is this WTF? What is this? Hour 3, Josh reaches for lowest fruit on the tree. I'm like walking along. Oh, hey, look at this fig. I'll take it. It's low. Delicious. Josh reaches for the lowest fruit on the tree and starts insulting Vic's looks while chewing food directly into the mic. Vic is ugly. Nobody knows what he looks like. So I'm insulting his looks. Nobody knows what the guy looks like. Could be Anthony over here for all I know. Begins rendition of, I'm not going to do what everyone thinks I'm going to do and flip out, monologue, while bragging that he will not let Vic win. Laugh out loud. I'm not going to let Vic win. I'm going to do what I thought he would. Yeah. Josh forgets how he began the show and bluffs more about loving the abuse from haters and trolls. What else can you do, folks? Really? What else can you do? What am I going to do? Tell you how much I hate it? I love the abuse, folks. Pour it on me. All right? Josh is hiring a lawyer because Vic started a feud with me the day my mother died. That's in quotations. Unclear which laws Josh feels address that particular circumstance. Well, here's what we're going to address that because I want my content, dude. Okay? I never even gave you permission. You never asked me to sign anything or anything verbal. And you used my to make T-shirts. So that's what I'm talking about. Can't make you stop making your trolls do what they do. They're going to do what they do. Says he continues pulling on the audience's heartstrings by repeating ad nauseum that Johnny has to feel guilty about his wife's death due to Vic. He is repeating this along with some lunatic's comment that was wishing for Josh's death over and over again. It says here, intro, he's way past the line of exploitative. Josh is being a petty bitch. Wow. It ain't real beef till someone drops a diss track. Baha. I present Dark Waters lyrical ether about, so whatever. So this person ends it with calling me a petty bitch. You're very impartial, sir. Thank you for breaking that down, ma'am, sir, baby child, whatever you are, craphead. Thank you for going on there and laying it down, boy. You told everybody what the heck the deal was. That's awesome. Thank you. So now when you go to Reddit, you know exactly what happened. Duh. Yeah. They broke it down perfectly. Very impartial, I might add. Couldn't have said it better myself. crazy. This person is just outrageous. Yep. What did Vic pay you for that? Probably nothing, because he doesn't. He just lets idiots like you go on and rant and do his dirty work. Or it's the man himself. Wow. He's a dude playing another dude. Somebody says Vic is saying, put the lotion in the basket. Put the lotion on the skin, or else it gets the trolls again. Folks, we're dealing with a situation where obviously this guy has no scruples, who doesn't care, doesn't give a darn, doesn't care about his listeners. He calls you stupid. He thinks you're idiots. He thinks you're a bunch of dumb idiot hicks running around with guns out in the woods. All you need to know, okay, is the timing of his post and the wording of his post that got everybody going, got everybody fired up and geared up for war. Okay? Getting his trolls. See, the difference, though, Vic, between everybody you've started mess with and picked on in the past is that none of those people were ever your friend. I was, buddy. And you told me a lot of things. In fact, you taught me a lot of things. And we have a saying in Texas, don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining. Because that's what you did. You were constantly being my friend, being my buddy. And then you turned on me. But you made a critical error. What you did will never go away, okay? Because I'm the kind of person who lives by the feud. And when you did what you did on the day my mother died, that will never, ever leave. That will never, ever go away. So you either step up to the plate and you say, hey, I did this. I'm sorry. I'm going to move on and I'm going to do better. I'm going to try to do better. I owe it to everybody. Stop trolling people, please. Stop attacking these people. And I am sorry I started all of this. And you move on with yourself, your inglorious and shabby self. You move on. And I will move on. And I will leave you alone. You have my word. I will never mention your name again. Just go on with myself. Okay? But folks, that's not going to happen. Because you're dealing with a narcissist who's never going to say that. He's never, ever going to say, hey, it was wrong of me. I never should have said those things. I never should have made the post the day after the thing that came out about the Hendersons with Barton and with Roger. He's never going to do that. He's a petty, angry, greedy man who didn't get the story from Roger. So now he's going to harass and hound this guy?
Look at Evan's last comments.
Read it.
It says, Vic, if you're ever in Texas and need help, knock on the nearest door with a purple post. It's funny because I was actually thinking about making a joke post like that on Facebook, but referring to Californians.
And not all Californians are bad. We're just here in Austin. We have some Californians that cause a lot of wrecks, and they're just not very nice. And used to, people come from California, they were always, hey, we're from another state, they're respectful. But we have this huge influx now, and that are, we're not picking on people from California, but they're very obnoxious. It's very, very obnoxious people.
Just all politics aside, you don't have to be arrogant in everything you do and say. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. So, folks, I'm sorry I got a little carried away with the reenactments there. I just thought I should give you a little taste of the entertainment. I just wanted you to know how it went down. That was the revisionist history.
But that whole post is just another example of what I was talking about earlier about the straw man fallacy. I mean, the guy writes a whole article or a whole post on Reddit, completely misrepresenting, but basically everything that was said and everything that happened, and then people do that on purpose so they have something that they can easily argue against and make themselves look smart and the opposition look stupid. I mean, it's dishonest, but it works because if you don't know that that's what they're doing, then you fall prey to it.
Yep. So I guess that's it, folks. I'm going to end this. I just had to come out and say what I had to say. And I want all y'all out there listening to know that I'm not doing this show from a toilet. I'm not sitting
by my house. I kill it.
I'm not sitting inside of a bathroom stall doing this. All right, dog man, come by my house. I kill it. Plain and simple. Wow, I can't imagine what that must have been like. You've carved out a nice little turd for yourself in that toilet.
Cuss word, cuss word, cuss word. Bad word, cuss word. MFO. Hey, you this and F that.
Sorry, folks. We have fun here. We're trying to make a light of a horrible situation. What are we supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be happy? Am I supposed to be sad? It is what it is. You know, it is what it is, folks. You have a person who puts out bullcrap shows, who is an absolute cancer to this whole industry. Make up your minds, okay? You're going to go on a Reddit and listen to Skittles, whatever his name is, and talk crap. This fool who laid the narrative out there for you. Man, he laid it out there too, man. That's all you got to do is read that. You know exactly what happened. And then my reenactment, that should tell you everything. I mean, Dark Waters is a bad guy. He came just attack poor Vic. Vic's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? You know, poor baby. Thank goodness he stopped him. Now he's got me, the big bad wolf. I mean, listen to our names. Dark Waters. Wolf. You know, just ferocious, horrible people. Breathing down. Little pig, let me in. I'm going to huff, and I'm going to puff, and I'm going to blow your house down. What am I going to do? I better get on Facebook and get my troll army to defend me. I imagine his troll army like the Pikmin from Nintendo. Hip, 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 hip. Like little, he pulls them out of the ground like carrots. They look like little carrots. And then they run around and they little colors and they do the little, and he picks them up and he throws them and they go and they do stuff for him. That's what I imagine they look like. His little troll army. And they get out there and then, or it could be the complete opposite. It could be like Lord of the Rings. And they're like coming out like the Uruk-hai. And they're putting the helmets on their heads and war, you know. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what they look like, how this works. I don't have a troll army, so I don't know, Vic. That's something you didn't teach me. You taught me a lot, Master Splinter, but you didn't teach me that. I don't know how to produce a troll army. But you got it going on, Vic. Apparently, DDW dropped a fresh track about Vic, and he's rapping or something. I don't know. I haven't heard it yet. Hopefully, it goes double platinum. You know, I guess I'll produce a song next week. And he thinks, hey, all publicity is good publicity, right? Yeah, right, buddy. Until you're finally exposed and everybody leaves you. Because one thing I do agree with is that eventually enough people are going to see you for what you really are. That's it. And then that's it. They're going to be done with you. We're going to move on with our lives. Done deal. But I think that I agree with DW when he says that we should not let up the pressure and that we should always keep it in people's minds who and what he is. Because when you decided to do what you did to me, it was the equivalent of bombing Pearl Harbor. Okay? You could have left me out of it. Somebody said, it's easy to produce a troll army, Josh. Have 5 dudes create 100,000 accounts and keep them on mess so they never stop spitting their hatred. Army. Yeah, okay. And this guy says, yeah, a channel with 14,000 subscribers has no chance of taking down a channel with what did he say? What did it say? 70,000? Yeah. They said something about I have no chance of taking down a channel. That doesn't mean I can't try. Haven't you heard of the story of David and Goliath? All it takes is a little rock, a little pebble. If we all stick together, we can do it. Take all these other channels. Take Lon Strickler. Take Dark Waters. Take me. Take all the different channels and all the friends that I have. You think I'm going in this alone? I go into the arena alone. But when you got friends, why not utilize the friends? Why not all work together? We'll see. We may be smaller, but we're more committed. And when you're fighting a good fight, you win in the end. That's all I'm going to say tonight, folks. I'm going to try and get something recorded for you so I can get it done hopefully Friday, but we're going to see what's going to happen. We got a lot of stuff we got to take care of, and I'm glad that you sat here and you listened to me tell stories and talk and absolutely just be silly, And yeah. They keep talking. A channel with 14,600 subscribers has no chance of taking down a channel with whatever. Here's the thing. I'm not just on YouTube. I'm on Spotify. We're on what, 7 different platforms?
Yeah.
And we have a lot of listeners, not just YouTube. So if you think this is one YouTube channel going against another YouTube channel.
I mean, pretty much anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can find us. Like, we're on TuneIn Radio, we're on Stitcher, we're on iTunes, Spotify, I think Google Podcasts. It used to be like Google Play, but then they got rid of that. Now they have Google Podcasts. I'm pretty sure we're on that too. I mean, just pretty much anywhere that like any major podcast platform, we're on all of them. So.
And by the way, folks, he doesn't look like Ryan Reynolds. Okay, I made that up a long time ago. Just And there's a ton of other channels that support me. I may be going on those channels too. I've been invited to about 6 different ones now. So yeah, I mean, I might just go on there. I usually decline to go on other people's channels, but I may just make the tour. Yeah. So that's it. We'll see what happens. That person that said that, you may eat those words. Never underestimate a person who's got nothing to lose, because I don't care. If I lose all this channel and all this stuff, who cares? I love my PRT fans. I love my family. I don't ever look at you as stupid. I don't talk down to you and make that you're a bunch of fools and all this other stuff. The way he talks about his people and thinks about his people and uses his people, all I'm doing is just being me. I'm being real, being honest. And if I lose all this, I made a lot of friends. There's a lot of people out there who I made friends with. I'll be friends with for life. And even if I don't have the show, maybe we can keep striving for the truth. We'll work together. If I lose my my podcast, my show, we're destroyed by the mighty hand of Zeus Vic. Then I'll just go on other people's shows. It's that simple. And then I'll just do it at my leisure, at my time. and I'll continue writing what I'm going to do, and I'm gonna write it. And my memoirs isn't going to be anything. It has nothing to do with this guy. I'm not giving this guy the time of day in my book. Pff, are you kidding me? I'll give people credit who, you know. I've always said that I never listened to Vic's show. Do you guys remember that? Do y'all remember that? I said that a long time ago. I always said I don't listen to his show. How many times I had to say that? I said that from the beginning of PRT until now, that I never listened to his show. I've listened to, really and truly, I haven't even listened to all of my episodes. I'm pretty sure I haven't even actually listened to them all. But I've maybe listened to a dozen episodes of his out of however many 300,000 silly episodes he's had. And believe me, a lot of them are stupid, just stupid as hell. But yeah, I haven't listened to most of his, and I've always said that. That was a clue right there. That should have said something. I did listen to Dark Waters, you know, not all the time, and especially when all the stuff happened with him and Vic fighting and stuff. You know, I just, you know, I wanted to hear content like everybody. But Dark Waters, I see now why he was going through why he had to fight. I get it. I do, believe me. And why he had to go to war with this guy. You know, it takes up an inordinately a large amount of time, you know, the energy to fight with these people. You know, I don't condone any one of y'all going and attacking people, whatever. But by the same token, we have to defend ourselves. You know, I have to defend myself. And I honestly, I don't want to go old school on this guy, you know, and have to be, you know, old gangster on this dude, you know, but whatever, you know. But this dude's he's just crossed the line, man. You know, I mean, there's a time and a place for everything, and there's a time and a place for peace. There's a time and a place for war. And this guy wants war, obviously, by the things he's doing. He knows what he's doing. You know, otherwise he could come out and say, "Hey, don't do this. This is terrible. Don't do these things. Don't talk about these people's pets. Don't talk about this person's mom dying." Yes, I said these things to these people, and I was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. But he's not done that, and he's not gonna do that. Just telling you. You know, there's a lot of people that I'm going to talk about when I write my book. Nothing bad. Just telling people thank you for the different things that they've done. The only thing that will come out about Vic will probably just be me saying that, hey, you know, I got my start on his show. And then I'll tell the truth about how it went down, and I just move on. We're not going to dedicate a whole part of that to dealing with him. That's silly. That's silly, Paul. Silly. I just think that we're going to have to move forward at some point, but I don't know when. Hopefully soon I can get an episode done. When I'm not wasting my energy fighting with people, these trolls. And think about what we said tonight here, that if it was you and your family and your mother died and somebody did that to you, and then all this other stuff comes out, everybody telling you what they've done, what he's done, you know? Maybe some of these people don't appreciate me saying what he did to them. I don't know. Maybe they're upset with me now for telling the truth, but I'll tell you right now, I pulled out all the stops. I told you all, you know, if you don't get it by now, you'll never get it. That's it, folks. I love my listeners, all you little spies and you trolls. Go on now. Scamper back to your boss. Be good, little troll. Won't get back in your shoebox. Don't worry. He'll play the fiddle for you to come back out and dance around and attack when it's time.
What was that Lonesome Dove quote? Tell your benefactor not to leave no slime on
What was that? That was Young Guns?
Young Guns, that's right.
What was that? Jack Palance.
Yeah.
Tell your benefactor not to leave any slime on the road behind him when he crawls back to Wall Street. I believe that's what he said, right?
Yeah, something like that.
There's another quote from there. Let me tell you something, Vic. I'm a pugilist. Always have been. Open invitation anytime you want. I'll pay you $10,000 to come and sign a waiver. Easy money. And when you're sitting there in the hospital drinking through the crazy straw, When you get done convalescing, you'll have $10,000. Because my prediction for the fight, pain. But we all know that's not going to happen. You're not going to do it. Oh, folks, if you could see the size of the check, I'd write. Oh, boy. Anyways, we're going to keep moving forward. Going to try and get a show out this Friday. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I have several people lined up that I'm going to maybe do some stuff with. Hopefully, people aren't too turned off by my anger. But, yeah, I hope you guys can forgive me and understand where I'm coming from, what this guy's done. Yep. This guy, Isabel, I'll fight you for $10,000. I'm pretty broke. I have no ill will towards you, so I have no reason to give you $10,000 to fight me.
That man is about his bread.
That's right. Are you really hurting that broke? You're that broke? I mean, I'm being serious. If you really are, hit me up. I'm not kidding. You have a Venmo or a Cash App? I'm not joking. If you're really that hurt, if something's wrong, folks, that's another thing too. I mean, I'm not made of money. I'm not rich, but if you're out there and you're listening and you're hurting and you're, if there's anything we can do to help at all, ever, just let me know. Okay? Because I try to help people as much as I can. That's one thing that impressed me about DW is when he offered me money to go see my mother, and I said, "No, it ain't about money." Anyways, folks, we love you. We're going to say goodnight. Say goodnight, Anthony.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you for listening. We will try to get something out for y'all this coming Friday. If not, well, forgive us. We're going to try. I'm going to wipe my face I'm going to take all my live streams down. I'm going to take all my pictures down off of Facebook and become anonymous like him. I'm going to wear a Bane mask. What do you think of that? You think people forget what I look like and I could just become anonymous?
No.
Talk through the Bane mask? Mm-hmm. It would be very painful for you. Yeah. No, I'm not going to do that, folks. I already have a friend that we call Bane anyway. I'd be stealing his name. All right, guys. Y'all, good night. Thanks for showing up. Like literally 500 people in the chat room, and I hate to say goodbye. Everybody's funny comments, and we had a good time. Say what I had to say. This would not have happened if the Hot Pocket gang hadn't gone crazy and exploded in the microwave after his silly post. Also, before we forget, I did say that I was going to pick a couple people from the live stream that we did last Tuesday, and we're going to give you guys a couple of you are going to get a Barton Munley disc that was autographed by him. You can't get this disc. There's only 5 of them that I have in my possession. I think there's only 8 in existence. These are not the ones you can get from Amazon. You can order that off Amazon, but it's not the same one. This one has the interviews, all the interviews, Jan Thompson, everything. So I'm going to pick 2 people off of that. It's just unfortunate. We didn't mark it as an announcement, and it got buried underneath a bunch of other stuff. But we're going to go in. We're going to pick a couple people, and we're going to send you something. And if you go, we're going to drop this show on the PRT. We're going to put in the announcements on the PRT channel on the group page, and we're going to pick somebody from this. Whatever, and we're going to send you a PRT shirt and an autographed book. Okay, and who knows? We may pick 2 or 3 people. Go on there to the PRT group page. Join. It's on Facebook, and we're probably going to do one for Paranormal Lounge, or Paranormal Encounters, or Whisper to a Scream. Probably do one for all of them. We're just going to give away T-shirts for y'all sitting here listening to me ranting and raving. Because like Skittles said, just me ranting and raving, picking low-hanging fruit, and all those other bad things I did. So yeah, we're gonna have to atone for our sins. Shame. 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 You gotta say it 3 times, like in the shame post he made. Okay. So anyway, we're gonna do that for the last live stream and this one, and we're gonna post on the Paranormal Round Table group, and then we're gonna do a pre-recorded show on Friday. We're gonna have something for you. We'll do something. All right. And that's it. Shame. 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 All right. Good night. And all you hot pockets out there spying for Vic. Okay. Good night to you too. Run along now. Go and tell that.